people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning, and wow, a lot of news yesterday, and we'll get into all of that coming up, including the shocking news, although I guess we probably, over the last few weeks, have seen this maybe coming, the shocking announcement that Elise Stefonic will not be stepping down after all of everything that's been going on here. Anthony Constantino, who spent a lot of money on radio stations across the district in the 21st. Blake Jenderbean, who is now is it Jen or with a hard G?
It's Jenderbean.
Jenderbean, who's someone I have a feeling we're going to want to get to know his name a little bit, because I wonder what he will do in all of this. The chosen Democrat, who's a farmer in the North Country, but after all of this, she is staying in that seat, which a lot of reports out there today, and we had this story right around noon yesterday.
Yeah,
that it was this was what was about to happen, and it seems there was a great deal of worry over properly selecting the candidate. Remember, the chair people, the Republican chairs, were the ones who would select the candidate, and it almost seems as if nobody could agree. There was a short list out there. We know some people who were on that short list, including Joe Rakowski. But when it was all said and done, it seems that the president felt uneasy. Probably felt uneasy that Jenderbean seems like a formidable candidate, somebody different. He's a farmer. Doesn't look like your typical Democrat running in whatever that might be. So I find this is and obviously that razor thin majority that they have in the House. Yeah. Republicans have in the House.
Whether that's true or not, that Jenderbean's profile was what made Trump reconsider Stefanic's nomination. It is going to help him come up with. It's going to help his profile overall, because he can now spin it as, I was such a formidable opponent before the race was even called. This decision was made to keep Stefonic in her seat. Well,
they can certainly run with that and probably raise money over that. That's probably definitely the case. So it will be interesting to see where all of it goes. We'll speak with Ryan Schmemells coming up in a few minutes from Fox News Radio. Sheriff Mashel is doing Coffee with a Cop in Waterville today.
Nice.
We'll get into that. Willie Waffle is coming up. All this dinosaur stuff at the Utica Zoo, and the threat of avian flu.
Yeah.
We'll talk there.
By the way, quiet on the news front with avian flu.
By the way, Jenderbean, the Democratic candidate for the 21st, former Democratic candidate for the 21st, or is he a current candidate for the 21st? Because remember,
we'll find out.
After this year, the midterms are campaigning for the midterms will be up and running. We'll talk to in studio. Gridley Paige is going to be at the Turning Stone this weekend. They'll be in studio this morning, Davey. And staying in line with the 21st congressional race, Anthony Constantino will be calling in this morning. We'll speak with him. So try to cover this from different angles. And also tonight, the Utica Pioneers are in the semifinals of the Frozen Four. Teachers Night for Utica City FC at the Odd. We have tickets for, believe it or not, both of them. I have tickets to give away for tonight's Utica Pioneers Curry game tonight, 7 o'clock at Nexus. These are standing room seats, and it turns out that I monitored most of the day yesterday to see if they were going to release. There's this block of tickets that they felt that people from the Massachusetts area supporting Curry would not end up using. They had to be reserved according to NCAA rules. So the seats were set aside. If they chose not to use them, they would then be re-released online yesterday. Watched all day long, nothing. And then I had an appointment, got back from the appointment and refreshed the website, and it said just a few seats left. It had opened back up yesterday.
Oh, there you go.
And I was able to get seats. I actually got sit-down seats.
You got 5 seats?
I didn't get 5. There were 3 left, so I picked those up, which opens the door for me to give away the standing room seats today. I was thinking about selling them, Davey, because I think you could get some money for this. This is a hot ticket, believe it or not.
You're turning into a scalper, Bill?
No, I'm giving away on the radio. I'm just saying I could sell them, but I'm going to give them away.
So you're going to the both games or just the UC Curie game?
I think there's still tickets. There's still seats available for the Geneseo Hobart game, which is at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine if it's Geneseo and Utica again? It'll be the 6th time they've played this season.
Why is the game so late on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock?
The other part of this that's going to be very interesting is if it were to turn out to be Utica Geneseo, that's obviously a Syracuse school, so tickets are going to be hard to come by for that. So a lot there. So as the morning goes on, I'll tell you how we're going to give away those tickets. And it's it was a battle trying to get seats for this, but we got them. The story yesterday out of New Hartford Central School, the threat at Perry Junior High School. It seems that this young person who made the threat, I don't know what it was over. I assume there's probably something with, who knows, a boy-girl thing or who knows.
Not much was being released about it since it's still under an active investigation.
Well, and the other part is they're all underage, so we're not going to get much out of it. However, the police moved very quickly on it. I don't think there was ever really any credible threat. However, you can't mess around today. And, probably 25 years ago, if something like this were to happen, you would just you'd get in-school suspension or be suspended from school. Although this is not a student of New Hartford. They're saying it was someone from a different school district. Or I don't even know the answer to that, but not a student from New Hartford.
Interesting.
And so I do think 25 years ago, it's just a punishment from within the school. But these days, you just can't rely on that. Police have to be involved. There were charges making a terroristic threat, and that's about all we have on this right now, except the dance will continue to go forward, and there will be a police presence there at the dance when they do it. So that was quite an interesting story that came out yesterday, and it does scare people. I really think it scares people when you just hear about a threat, because we know of so many terrible things that have happened around the country. Spoke to somebody yesterday that for the last 10 years has, Davey, I need a sheet on this.
He said if you want to talk Stefonic,
that's what I'd rather talk about.
He did that yesterday.
All right, let's do that now then. So scrap whatever we were going to do, and let's get into Stefonic here. Ryan Schmemells, I'll talk to you about this cancer thing coming up in a second. Ryan Schmemells with us right now. Good morning, Ryan, from Fox News Radio.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Well, I got to tell you, this thing started to boil yesterday, and you could just see it started with a simmer, and the rumors started flying just before noon, and then it was official. So there's a lot here. I think there are a lot of moving pieces. Number one, there's obviously a very, very slim margin that the president has in the House. And the process that New York uses, the moment Stefonic steps down, the governor then has 10 days to set a special election, which must be some 70 to 80 days out. You're talking a pretty good-sized gap that the president would not have someone in that seat. And then the other part of this is it doesn't seem like Republicans could agree on which candidate was going to be the candidate.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we heard, too, is that the White House and Stefanic's team were kind of looking at the special election there, and they felt that there was a possibility of a conservative third-party candidate coming in and kind of clustering this thing up to the point that a Democrat could sneak in and win.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm hearing on Capitol Hill is that there are some GOP circles who are kind of a little baffled that this decision was made. Number one, I think there was a thought that they could have waited at least till April Fool's Day when the election for these Florida seats happened, and just wait and see if those guys pull it off. And if the two Republicans win, well, then you don't need to pull Stefonic away from the majority.
Which, by the way, Ryan, not to interrupt, that is exactly what we heard was happening, that the election is on the 1st. By the 2nd, they would start the confirmation. If it was all favorable, they would plow forward, and that's been scrapped.
Yeah, and so I think there are some who just say, well, this is maybe a little bit of an overreaction. Why do they have to do this? And so that's kind of the question moving forward. But I think there is a little bit of a sense of just major concern with Republicans over this majority. But I just don't think everybody within the Capitol Hill circles are maybe on board with the idea that this needed to happen now or that this needed to happen at all because. I think some Republicans were more confident in the in their chances in both Stefanic's seat as well as these Florida elections than maybe what Democrats might be pushing, which is Democrats are trying to say that this margin is a major concern, and hey, the Democrats have a lot of momentum right now.
Well, I got to say that the candidate that they picked, who we will have on the air this morning, Blake Jenderbean, is unique, and if you start to read what some Democrats are pushing for in the party is a different type of candidate. This elite Democrat concept has not only not worked, but it's crashed and burned. So here's a guy who's a farmer. Somebody who is very popular among farmers, especially in the northeast part of the state, completely different looking Democrat. So I think that does probably play a little bit of a role. And then you had earlier in the week, the Conservative Party coming out and recommending a different candidate that they wanted to see. And you had infighting inside because the way it was done, every county chair got to vote on who the candidate would be. And there was infighting, and even the chairperson, from what I'm hearing in Oneida County, our county here, wasn't really leaning in the direction that everybody thought he should be leaning in. So I think there was enough infighting where they just got nervous and said, let's leave her at least for now.
Well, and I think that infighting and some of the drama surrounding that certainly played into the White House decision that we've got a lot of different information, from our sources at Fox, that was certainly a huge contributing factor to this. But I've had some folks and a couple people pointed me towards this poll that Politico released yesterday that shows polling in that district, which show and the candidate, the Dem favorite there, as well as. It was pretty much him against generic Republican, and it had generic Republican winning by upwards of 17 points. And a lot of Republicans keep referencing the margin Donald Trump had in that district.
Huge win.
And how much Stefonic has won by consistently every time she's up for re-election. So I think there are some Republicans who say, hey, look, yes, it's a concern, but, some people might think it's a little overblown.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that poll is really right in line with Republicans and Democrats in the district. Republicans have a large majority in terms of likely registered voters in the 21st congressional district. So it would be even with a popular Democratic candidate, It is would have been a long haul. So I do think it's baffling. And let's, Ryan, just talk a little bit about what we can all sit here. You have one of the candidates, Anthony Constantino, Republican, who spent a ton of money, was still running commercials last night on television because they couldn't be pulled. He was trying to lure in the county chairs to vote for him. But the real story is, I think, is Elise Stefonic is now stuck in the House. And when I say stuck, she has no leadership role whatsoever.
And she was one of the first people confirmed to be brought to the cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she had been teasing this idea of joining Trump's cabinet for a long time, and she was I believe she was kind of a name floated to be VP at one point.
Yes,
So yes, I mean, she gave up a lot to take this job. She's been very loyal to Donald Trump for a very long time. She took Liz Cheney's job in leadership,
Right.
And she was somebody who, as I said before, is very loyal to President Trump. She gave up that leadership position so that she could take this job. And what we understand is that GOP leadership is going to invite her back to leadership. And sources are telling us Lisa McClain is not going to be stepping down from her role. So what they're going to do in terms of giving Stefonic a new leadership position, we don't know what that looks like just yet.
Yeah, I agree. This was just think about if you're, we'll look at this a little bit, Ryan, from the media side. If you're a radio or television station in the district, you had just budgeted a second quarter that was going to be enormous. It was going to be the only race in the country. The money that was going to be spent here was going to be enormous.
Yes.
And that just got pulled from your budget. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Dang.
Yeah, well, listen, it affects everybody, right? It affects everybody.
That's the angle to this. I did not. I'm pitching that to Fox now. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, it's a huge blow because the millions that would have been spent on that, most of it going to TV, gone. So interesting stuff. All right, Ryan, great conversation. Glad we could switch topics. As always, very versatile. You are very versatile. That's a positive. So.
Of course. Hey, have a great weekend.
All right,
Thank
you do the same, Ryan. Thank you. Ryan Schmemells with Fox News Radio. All right, quick break. Willie Waffle coming up in a second, and I have the sheriff. Let's dump your news update and take a quick break and come back with the sheriff coming right up here. A lot of rain this weekend. Be ready for that. Full forecast coming up as well on WIBX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/radio. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has supported and will continue to support the people of Israel with life-saving security essentials. Your gift today will help save lives by providing bomb shelters, armored security vehicles and ambulances, firefighting equipment, flak jackets and bulletproof vests, and so much more. Give a gift to bless Israel and her people by visiting supportifcj.org. That's one word, supportifcj.org.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, portions of the program brought to you by Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. Neck pain, back pain, knee, wrist, arthritis, shoulder pain, whatever pain you might be happening. It's possible that SoftWave can really do wonders for you. It's FDA-cleared, non-invasive, drug-free treatment for chronic pain, inflammation, and all joint issues. You can ask about the $99 new patient special, introductory discovery session, which includes a consultation with one of their doctors, SoftWave therapy treatment, a treatment recovery plan, and assessment. I was there for lower back issues, did one treatment, and beginning next month, we'll get on a regular treatment, which I think is going to be about 8 treatments that they say will do things like stimulate stem cells with just a treatment or a series of treatments, increases blood supply to the area where you're getting your pain, reduces acute and chronic pain. It's really amazing and has a long-lasting effect. 315-725-8427 is the number. Revive SoftWave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. On the line right now is Sheriff Rob Mashel. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. So you have I got to tell you, with everything going on, and there's so much, there will be a lot of topics at the Stewarts in Waterville for you guys to talk about with Coffee with a Cop.
Lots to talk about, absolutely, both good and bad. But yes, we're doing another Coffee with a Cop today. Today we're gonna be in the southern part of the county, Stewart's down in Waterville. Just an opportunity to, have some members of the sheriff's office out at the community, in each of the communities where people stop on their way to work, have a brief conversation, let us know something on your mind, got a question, looking for a career change, whatever the case may be. We'll have folks there probably within less than a half hour. We'll be there. I'll be running short behind that because I haven't left my house yet. But we'll be there till 9 or so. And again, just an opportunity to engage in the community, build a relationship. And like I said, if there's anything you want to get off your mind or question or whatnot, that's what we're there for. It's a great opportunity to, like I said, meet some folks from the sheriff's office.
There is a lot to talk about. You got a lot of things, a lot of cases that you're dealing with, including any update on the man, I believe that was through your office, that is wanted after a domestic allegation.
As of this morning, still not located. Again, that's kind of a priority case for us. So if anyone has any information on that, all his information's up on all our social media sites. It's a violation of an order of protection. In regards to a domestic violence case, that's not the first time either. So that's why we definitely want to get closure on that. But just looking forward to meeting with folks, and it's a big county. We try to hit all corners of it, and like I said, today we'll be down south.
In Waterville, and Coffee with a Cop. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Could also be chocolate milkshake from Stewart's with a Cop.
That is right, and they've got different flavors too. So one of my favorite spots. So,
okay,
yeah, absolutely.
All right, good stuff. All right, Sheriff. Good luck today. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Talk later.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Sheriff Rob Mashel, and I have a preference to that to their chocolate milkshake, which is, whatever flavor you want. They're good milkshakes, I have to say. Coming up, we'll speak with Willie Waffle. The First Bloom Bridal event is on now through April 30th at Steve Lennon and Company Jewelers in the village of New Hartford. You see this when it comes to the world has changed, right? A jewelry store doesn't have a jeweler there anymore. If you need something worked on or you need a repair done, they have to send that out, right? Not at Steve Lennon and Company Jewelers in New Hartford. On staff, you will find GIA certified master jewelers and gemologists. If you have a dream piece, maybe an heirloom that isn't so dreamy and you really want to change it up, or you just have a vision of something you want to create, they can actually custom make jewelry for you right there on the premises, and you could actually be a part of watching this being done. And right now, the First Bloom Bridal event is on through April 30th. 30% off engagement ring settings, buy one, get one free wedding bands, in-store 12-month interest-free financing with some exclusions, and an amazing custom bridal line with custom-made wedding rings and bands. And as we said, repairs are done right there in the store. Steve Lennon and Company Jewelers, 23 Genesee Street in New Hartford. Your trusted jeweler for over 30 years. Private appointments are available upon request.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Okay, we need brakes and tires. Check the battery too, please. And how about an oil change?
There's one local shop that really knows how important it is to keep our youngest passengers safe. Mulgeri's Auto Repair, family owned and operated since 1928. That's 3 generations of family that's been looking out for your family. Trusted for nearly 100 years to keep your car on the road, plus towing, brakes and tires, and good, low mileage used cars. Mulgeri's Auto Repair, 501 Albany Street, Utica. Call 315-733-5033.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Got to give somebody, Davey, an opportunity to walk away a winner. Tonight is Teachers Night at Utica City FC at the Adirondack Bank Center. Soccer tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center. And I have tickets, family pack of tickets. Davey, make it caller number 3 right now, and here's how we'll do it. Let's hook them up with whatever they... So if they say we have a family of 2, then you give them 2 tickets. If we have a family of 4, or we have a family of 5, then hook them up. Caller 3 right now, 315-736-0186. Your chance to win tickets for tonight, Utica City FC at the Utica Memorial Auditorium, the Adirondack Bank Center. Willie Waffle on the line right now. Willie, good morning.
Good morning. How's everything going this week?
Well, I have been very, very, I don't want to get into personal stuff, but if you're asking, I've been a little bit on the depressed side over the tanking of Snow White. It's just really...
What, you have
it's
Disney
really bothering me. It's
it?
bothering me terribly.
And it tanked, baby.
Yeah.
It tanked. Hey, let's talk numbers, all right? $270 million budget. They cleared $43 million domestically, $44.3 million overseas. The last time a live-action Disney movie did this badly, it was in 2019 when Dumbo premiered with $45 million domestically. And that was in 2019 dollars when tickets didn't cost as much, my man.
Yeah, and there weren't as many options out there. I think the competition for the entertainment dollar is greater than ever with the convenience of sitting home and watching top-run movies right in your living room.
Oh, absolutely. That is something that the movie theater business is still struggling with today. And let's be honest, it happened when COVID hit. When COVID hit and streaming became much more popular and much more mainstream, movie theaters have never truly recovered. If you look at ticket sales, every year since COVID, they've never gone back to pre-COVID levels. They probably never will because just tastes have changed, habits have changed. And you're starting to see that now almost being a self-fulfilling prophecy. There are movies that are going straight to streaming that maybe would have gotten a theater run, but now it's like, why? Why waste the money? Just sell it to Netflix, sell it to Amazon, let them run it. And so, I think that's what really has changed so much in society.
This became tainted with politics too, didn't it?
Oh, it sure did. But that's the really interesting thing. The first reaction everybody had was, oh man, it was snow woke. Snow Woke ruined its chances. Now, I saw something really interesting. I saw this group called Intelligence did a study of where the ticket sales were for Snow White, and they broke it down by counties that voted for Kamala Harris and counties that voted for President Trump. And what they showed is that typically your ticket sales for any movie, about 67% of them come from blue counties. And that's because, a lot of those blue counties, they're L.A., New York, Chicago. Right. They're very highly populous. The ticket sales for Snow White in blue counties was only 60%. Now, on the one hand, you go, gee, that doesn't really jive with what I'm thinking in my head. The other thing, it doesn't jive with what I'm thinking in my head. That means about 40% came from red states, and that's overperforming in red states.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, I think it's interesting. I honestly, I think it means that it's not just a political thing, but I just think that in some ways, I think people are just sick and tired of the culture wars. I think that, just everybody's sick of, of the fact that you told me it was Snow White and it really wasn't the Snow White story. It was a different story. And a lot of people heard that, last weekend and went, well, if I don't want to see Snow White, I'll go to Disney Plus. They got it streaming right now, and I'll watch the original. And I think I don't think you can downplay. I think a lot of the controversy over Rachel Zegler being a supporter of Palestine very vocally versus Gal Gadot, the other star, who's an Israeli who's been very supportive of Israel, and I think that turned off people in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I think that just so many factors come into play here that it's hard to say it was just the politics.
Yeah.
I think there were a lot of things that were going on.
Okay, a lot of money for, but will they learn? That's going to be the question.
No,
probably not.
Not for a while.
While I was sitting there, they were advertising the live-action version of Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. I don't get it. And
apparently, one of the criticisms from Lilo and Stitch is that the person who's playing Nani isn't even a native Hawaiian.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
Oh, that'll get people pissed off.
Wow. This is what it is these days, folks.
Yep. Have you seen Severance? I want to start with some streaming, if you don't mind.
I should be watching Severance. This is like falling off my radar. But I keep hearing how great it is and how wonderful it is, and I just got to stop being lazy and fire this one up.
Well, I got to tell you, we've been watching an episode at a time. And I say that because I'm always like, I think we can do another episode. What do you think? And then I'm told, no, we're going to bed. And like I did as a child, I just listen and go to bed. But we got maybe through 3 or 4. And I just, it was one of those things where, do we have to watch another episode of Severance? But I got to tell you, it's made the move. It's one of those slow starts, but once it makes the move, it's one of those where no matter how late it is, you don't want to shut it off. You want to watch another episode. So, we'll see.
Man, I am like that with The Pit. If you ever watched that on
haven't
Max.
started that one yet, but I heard that's really good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The Pit is so awesome. And they're really towards the end of the season now. There's only like maybe 2 more episodes to go. So if you want to kind of dive in, and in a lot of ways, it's the perfect streaming show in the sense that it's like ER and 24 had a baby. So we're watching one day in the emergency room with all these doctors. So episode 1 is 7 o'clock in the morning. Episode 2 is 8 o'clock in the morning, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to sit there and binge, you'll just sit there as if you're at work in the ER for a few hours, just going from episode to episode to episode.
Right. Wow. And then there's one that we got into was White Lotus. And that got off to a little bit of a slow start, but it's freaking twisted. And I'm just telling you, this thing has a little bit of twisted from all different angles, and it is. I can't wait for the new. I think they do a new episode on Sunday nights, so it's a HBO. But it is well worth watching. But then you add, I heard just yesterday from somebody that The Studio on Apple TV Plus with Seth Rogen is really good. What do you think?
I think think it's solid. I think it's good. The whole idea is it's Apple Plus TV. It's going to be, I think, 8 episodes, maybe. I think it's 8 or 10. I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically, it's Seth Rogen playing a guy who's been named the studio executive, the head of a movie studio in Hollywood. And his dream is that now he's going to bring back the good old days. The studio is going to be all about, making great movies with great artists, and money isn't going to matter as much. And then in his first meeting with the CEO, played by Bryan Cranston, he's told that we've bought the rights to the Kool-Aid Man. You're going to make a Kool-Aid Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's really kind of a parody of Hollywood. It's a satire of Hollywood in a lot of ways. You have tons of really cool cameos from different stars along the way because they're interacting with Seth Rogen as this studio head. You've got the main cast, Seth Rogen, and Kathryn Hahn, who plays just the foul-mouthed marketing executive who, is more like, give me the Kool-Aid movie. I can sell that. Okay?
I love her.
I know how to sell that every day. And so you get that. You get the send-up of all the silly situations he's in. It's funny. I think it's a lot of giggles and some big laughs.
Do you rate this one?
I'm at 2.5 waffles.
Okay.
I think it's pretty solid. And I will say this: if you only watch the first episode, it's worth it because Martin Scorsese is in this episode, and I'm telling you, the guy is so darn funny. He should win the Emmy for best guest actor in a comedy. He's hilarious in this episode. You got to see that part.
All right, we'll check that out. And then 2 movies in theaters. What are you looking at? Working Man is the first one.
A Working Man. This is the movie you want, right? Come on, it's Jason Statham. It's co-written by Sylvester Stallone. There's no surprises what this movie's going to be about. Jason Statham's going to blow some stuff up and beat up some bad guys. And the whole premise is that he's this former special ops military guy. He's retired. He just wants to live a nice, quiet life, just work his regular job, kind of relax at night. But no, he's getting pulled back into the action because the boss's daughter has been kidnapped by Russian human traffickers. And now Jason Statham has to blow stuff up and kick some booty. And that's what you want to see. And you want to see him dropping some one-liners on the bad guys. And you want to see him meting out justice to people who deserve to get beaten up. I'm at 2.5 waffles. It's nothing about the dialogue. It's nothing about the characters.
It's what it is.
It's a fun Jason Statham movie, yeah.
And then the other one, there's a woman. She's got, I don't know, it looks like a black veil all over her body in the yard. And what are we going to call this movie? Let's call it The Woman in the Yard.
Yeah, and that shows you about how imaginative this movie really, really is. It's boring. How else can I say it? It's boring. I mean, the whole story is you've got Blake Denweiler, Danielle Denweiler. She is this mother of 2 kids. She's horribly depressed. She's a widow. There was a horrible accident. And now she's living in their dream farmhouse, but without her husband, without the kid's father. And, we spent about half an hour finding out how just depressed all of them are. And then this woman shows up in the yard. Like you said, she's sitting in this ornate iron chair. She's in black robes like she's death itself coming to get them. And then, they talk to her, and she's kind of weird. And then she starts getting closer. And then she starts getting closer. And you're looking at your watch going, when is she going to do something? Because this is just getting boring. Yeah. I'm at half a waffle. Just ain't happening.
All right. There you go. And then my Cousin Vinny Part 2. They're talking about making that.
Yeah, this was really a shock to me. I mean, I guess it shouldn't be a shock because they remake everything these days.
I know.
But Ralph Macchio is out there promoting his next Karate Kid movie, talking about remakes and reboots and relaunches, right? And somebody asked him, hey, what about, it was kind of an offhand thing. What about a My Cousin Vinny reboot? And he goes, yeah, I've been talking to some writers about it.
Wow.
What? We're that far into the idea? And so the big question was, well, how are you going to get Joe Pesci to come back?
Right.
Because Joe Pesci's 83 years old. He's pretty much retired from acting. He hasn't done much over the past, 10 years.
Yeah.
And Macchio said something really interesting. He said, well, we can work it out to where he'll FaceTime into the movie. And I'm thinking, you guys have a script.
That's unbelievable. All right, great stuff, Willie. Jam-packed for the weekend. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk again next week.
I talk to you next week about the Minecraft movie.
Okay, that's going to be big.
Oh, boy.
News coming up top of the hour.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
A disaster in Burma and Thailand. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, struck by a powerful earthquake.
Suddenly, I started feeling that the earth is shaking.
There was a lot of screaming and panicking, which obviously made it a lot worse.
They're in Bangkok, where the Thai defense minister just said there are 3 deaths in a building under construction that collapsed. Others were rescued, but 90 people remain missing in the rubble. The quake was a 7.7 magnitude, centered in Burma, where the Red Cross says there are initial reports of significant damage. There's a flooding nightmare in southeast Texas after they got nearly a foot of rain near the Mexico border. The water's so deep on some roads, cars are submerged. People needed to be rescued. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is in the Philippines, an American ally in a region dominated by China.
We are doubling down on that partnership, and our ironclad alliance has never been stronger.
Hegseth did not talk about the Signal group chat controversy he's in the middle of, and his messages detailing military action in Yemen that a journalist saw and reported on after being mistakenly invited into that chat. A federal judge has ordered those messages not be deleted amid investigations. Meanwhile, more suspected U.S. airstrikes today have hit those Houthi militants in Yemen. President Trump needs to choose a new ambassador to the United Nations after he withdrew Elise Stefanic's nomination, wanting the New York Congresswoman to remain in the House to help preserve the slim Republican majority. And Stefonic tells Fox,
look, I've been in a House. It's tough to count these votes every day, and we are going to continue to defy the political prognosticators and deliver victory on behalf of President Trump and, importantly, the voters across this country.
Britain's King Charles has just been seen in public the day after a little bit of a health scare and a brief hospitalization.
He was there under supervision before he was later released. Buckingham Palace released a little bit of information about what we know at this point. So he was taken to the hospital after experiencing some side effects that he had experienced after his scheduled and ongoing medical treatment for cancer.
Alex Hogan in London. America's listening to Fox News.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Only 2 things in life are certain, death and taxes. How about one more? Switch from Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile to cut your bill in half with Pure Talk. For just $25 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, 5 gigs of data on America's most dependable 5G network. Making the switch, it's simple, fast, and easy. You dial pound 250, you say the keyword Pure Talk, and make the switch. You do it now, you save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, wireless, by Americans, for Americans.
Vice President Vance is going to Greenland today, along with his wife, Second Lady Usha, and the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz.
Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to Greenland follows President Trump's repeated suggestions that the U.S. should, in some form, control the country, which is a territory of Denmark, a U.S. ally. Vance is set to visit a Space Force base in the northwest coast of Greenland, which removes the risk of violating potential diplomatic taboos by sending a delegation to another country without an official invitation. Ahead of the announcement that the vice president would be joining his wife, Greenland's government posted on social media that it had not, quote, extended any invitations for any visits, neither private nor official, with the Danish prime minister calling the visit unacceptable pressure. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
We'll get another inflation update next hour, a report on what are called personal consumption expenditures, which the Federal Reserve monitors closest, gauging consumer prices and deciding interest rate policy. Ahead of that on Wall Street, stock futures down modestly the day after selling. It's down to 12 teams now in the men's college basketball tournament.
For the first time in this year's NCAA tournament, a game went into overtime. 3-seed Texas Tech erased a 16-point second-half deficit, stunning 10-seed Arkansas 85-83 in a thriller. The Red Raiders advanced to face 1-seed Florida on Saturday after the Gators took care of business against 4-seed Maryland, beating the Terrapins 87-71. 1-seed Duke is moving on, holding off 4-seed Arizona 100-93. and the Blue Devils will face 2-seed Alabama for a spot in the Final Four. The Crimson Tide turned it on in the second half against 6-seed BYU, beating the Cougars 113-88, making an NCAA tournament record 25 threes. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
In Major League Baseball, Tampa Bay plays Colorado today, the last two teams to start the season. It was opening day for 26 others, while the Los Angeles Dodgers kept rolling, beating Detroit to improve to 3-0. The World Series champs beat the Chicago Cubs twice in Japan last week to start the season. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. It is 33 degrees and cloudy outside. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. For the second time this week, a juvenile has been arrested for a threat toward a school. New Hartford police said this latest event happened Wednesday when Perry Junior High School received a threatening message about its upcoming 9th grade dinner dance. Police were immediately notified, and a 17-year-old student was arrested yesterday by the New Hartford Police Criminal Investigation Division. The student was charged with making a terroristic threat, which is a Class D felony. The minor was taken to Oneida County Family Court and was held due to several factors. The school was granted an order of protection. A Little Falls woman was arrested on felony fraud charges. The Herkimer County Sheriff's Office said deputies were alerted of the ongoing fraud, of which they say spanned 5 months, and arrested 55-year-old Tracy Postal of Little Falls. Authorities say Postal unlawfully received roughly $1,800 in benefits, of which she was ineligible for, and she was arrested. Postal was charged with welfare fraud and grand larceny, which are felonies, and was released on an appearance ticket. Postal is due back at Village of Herkimer Court at a later date. Congresswoman Elise Stefonic will not be confirmed to serve as the next U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. President Trump announced yesterday that her nomination is being withdrawn so she can help fellow Republicans in the House of Representatives. Currently, the GOP has a small majority in the chamber over Democrats. The 21st District representative, whose district covers much of the North Country, was one of Trump's first cabinet picks after she was elected in November. And also, we have a commentary from Blake Jenderbean as well as Anthony Constantino. Both will be coming on to the show later this morning. And New York State is hiring federal laid-off workers as part of Governor Kathy Hochul's You're Hired campaign. The governor says so far the state has received more than 1,300 applications over the last 3 weeks and has already hired more than 24 workers who were let go by the Trump administration. The state has about 7,000 job openings, from engineers to healthcare to technology and many other fields. The State Department of Labor is offering free weekly career development webinars for laid-off federal workers. Your WIBX news time is 7:07. Here is your weather forecast.
Pretty mild day today, but some concern that overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, especially in the Adirondacks, the North Country, we could see some frozen precipitation. We roll through today, partial sun close to 50. Tonight, 40, colder north with some rain showers locally, maybe a little ice a little further north, and some showers around on Saturday with a high 55. On the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
33 degrees and cloudy outside. Here is your sports. Four teams have locked up their spot in the Elite Eight of the NCAA's men's basketball tournament. Top-seeded Florida knocked off 4-seed Maryland 87-71 in the West region before 3-seed Texas Tech toppled 10-seed Arkansas 85-83 in overtime. The Gators and Red Raiders will face off in the Elite Eight on Saturday. The East region top-seeded Duke defeated 4-seed Arizona 100-93, and 2-seed Alabama took care of business with a 113-88 takedown of 6-seed BYU. The Blue Devils and Crimson Tide will battle for a Final Four spot on Saturday. The action continues today with 4 more Sweet 16 matchups. The Yankees topped the Milwaukee Brewers 4-2. Carlos Rodon picked up a victory after striking out 7 batters. Austin Wells led off the bottom of the first with a home run. Anthony Volpe also hit a solo shot. New York will continue the 3-game series tomorrow. The Mets opened the season with a 3-1 loss in the Houston Astros. Clay Holmes was charged with the loss after allowing 3 runs, 2 of them earned, on 5 hits and 4 walks. Francisco Lindor drove the only run of the game for the Mets with a sac fly in the top of the 9th. New York continues the 3-game series tonight. The Jets are adding to their receiving core. The Green and White have signed veteran wideout Josh Reynolds to a one-year deal. According to ESPN, he will receive $2.7 million in guarantees. The 30-year-old has caught 233 passes for over 3,000 yards in his career. He spent time with the Titans, Lions, Broncos, and Jaguars. 4 players are tied atop the leaderboard after the first round of the Texas Children's Houston Open was suspended due to darkness. Alejandro Tosti, Ryan Gerard, Keith Mitchell, and Taylor Pendrith are in the first after each shot a 5 under 65. Several players are tied for 5th at 4 under par. Defending champion Steven Yeager is tied for 57th after finishing even. And the NASCAR Cup Series makes a stop at the classic track this Sunday. The field battles from Martinsville Speedway on the Cookout 400. Kyle Larson is hoping to build momentum on his Straight Talk Wireless 400 victory at Homestead Miami Speedway last weekend. The driver of the number 5 car is second in the standings, while William Byron leads the pack. Your WIBX news time is 7:10. It is 33 degrees. I'm Megan Stone.
Coming up, we'll do Habaika's free money question of the day. Davey, it's worth how much this morning?
$200 again.
$200 again. Okay. $200 on the line. Your chance to win from Habaika. And WIBX will do that about 7:35. Blake Jenderbean is the now former Democrat running in the 21st Congressional District for the seat currently held by Elise Stefonic. Will he commit to being the current candidate on the Democratic side with midterms looming just about 8 months away from campaigns to get underway? Will he commit to running, or is he done after this? Later in the morning, Anthony Constantino, who spent a ton of money on trying to become the 21st congressional race candidate as a Republican, all for naught. We'll speak with him. He'll be in studio later on this morning at WIBX.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jose Lopez from the band Showtime.
I'm Justin from the band Showtime. We'll be the house band on May 10th at the Rome Capitol Theater during CNY On Stage Live.
It'll be a wonderful event full of great acts,
dancers, comedians, and singers.
And you can be one of those singers fronting the band Showtime on the Capitol stage.
Complete details at RomeCapitol.com.
Are you ready to sing in the spotlight on the Capitol stage with Showtime?
We'll see you there.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/radio. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has supported and will continue to support the people of Israel with life-saving security essentials. Your gift today will help save lives by providing bomb shelters, armored security vehicles and ambulances, firefighting equipment, flak jackets and bulletproof vests, and so much more. Give a gift to bless Israel and her people by visiting supportifcj.org. That's one word, supportifcj.org.
Hey, Central New York, this is Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, and you can now hear my show every weekday at WIBX. I do things a little differently when I'm behind the microphone because I turn it over to the listeners to learn and really dig into the issues that impact everyday Americans. The Will Kane Show lets you keep ahead of the headlines and understand what's really going on in the world with in-depth discussions from leading experts and the brightest minds. From politics to sports, nothing is off topic. Listen to The Will Kane Show weekdays at 6, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Keeler in the Morning invites you to connect with us through telephonic communication at 315-736-0186 or use the Call Us button on the WIBX 950 app. For additional contact methodologies, please refer to WIBX950.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, listen, the reality is the Utica Zoo is open all year long, right? Andrea is in studio here this morning, Andrea Heath, Executive Director of the Utica Zoo. You're open all year long, but your annual heyday is coming up.
True. Our peak season is really starting around now. I mean, it's so thrilling to look out the window and see families and hear kids. The minute the weather broke, we were starting to really get visitors.
Isn't it nice to look out the window and not see snow?
It's so grateful.
Yeah, that feels good. All right, let's talk about so I'm out of town for 5 days, and I'm hearing Utica Zoo dinosaurs discovered. What have we? What's going on?
To say shocked, I'm just so excited about the response for this dino discovery to come. It's an international company. Large zoos around the country have featured these dinosaurs. It's 16,000 pounds of dinosaurs arriving in May on 2 tractor trailers. The T-Rex alone is 39 feet long and 5,400 pounds.
Wow.
They're all animatronics, so some of them, they make noise. Some of them spit water. They bend down, pick up a fish. We're going to place them throughout the zoo so that they're, they really have a sense of wonder. You go around a corner and all of a sudden there's something going on that wasn't there the last time you visited.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How long does this stay?
So it's coming in May. It'll be fully up and, featured by Memorial Day weekend, but it'll get placed throughout the month of May, and then it doesn't leave until the end of October after our spectacular.
That's awesome.
So every, zoo camp, field trip, birthday party, Wine in the Wilderness, Brew Fest, visits throughout the summer, our sunset sips that are on Thursday nights where we stay open till 8 this year. Live music, beer, wine, and seltzer, and the whole zoo is open.
There we go.
Dinos will be there. We're just really, really excited.
Are you going to dress the dinosaurs up for Halloween?
Everybody's been asking us that.
I want to know.
I don't know. They're pretty tall. We'd have to have some cranes.
Some big shirts.
Big shirts, big hats.
Do you, is this typical? So like a Munson will get an exhibit that'll come in and be in for 3 months.
We've never done this.
I don't ever remember
big.
this.
It's really big. We've never done it. It was costly, and we were really conservative and said we're not going to do it unless we make sure we can do the initial investment, which was $150,000 investment to bring it in.
Wow.
But we found a donor, and then we found other sponsors as well because there were a lot of ancillary costs just to make it sure we do it right. We're not going to do this thing halfway. So there's landscaping, there's sound, there's compressors, and we do have to hire cranes to help us take the dino pieces off the tractor trailers when they come. So, there's a lot to go into it. We're trying to do a lot of marketing. We're going to have a preview party. We're going to have a media day before it starts.
Sign me up.
Yes, exactly. Another big piece is it's going to be included with admission. So sometimes you go to these things and you have to pay extra. Mm-hmm. And even it's going to be there during our 2 free nights that we do in July and August. So it's really important to us to make sure that people don't feel like they can't be part of this.
So the watering can has finally found
its match.
Its match. They have
actually
not so large after all.
Well, but actually it's going to be featured even more because we're going to use the watering can garden for some dino placement.
Nice.
It's perfect.
Yeah, kids love the dinosaur thing.
They do, and so do. You know what?
And adults
so do teens and adults.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the fact that they move.
Jurassic is bringing out a new movie this year, so I think it's instilling that sense of nostalgia. Yeah. We were trying. I'm not sure we can pull it off. We wanted to do some preview movies throughout the summer, and even after the movie comes out of the previous Jurassics. But there seems to be a moratorium on the licensing for it this year, so we'll figure something
All right.
out.
All
Other
right.
dino movies will show at the zoo.
We can get some local high schoolers to act it out. How about that?
I'm sure they'd like to.
So that you'll be up and running by Memorial Day.
Yes, but by this Monday at noon, there is a contest going on. This is really cool.
Okay.
Kids can color this blank coloring sheet of a dino, submit it to us by Monday at noon. And the
Here,
company...
can you throw me one of the sheets
Sure.
so I could put it up for the camera?
The company is actually going to... We select one, and then there's going to be a Facebook contest to pick the one. The company then paints one of the dinos to look like that child's rendition.
That is so cool.
And so throughout the summer, our community and our region, we think about 25,000 extra people are going to come into the region.
That's awesome.
It's going to be great for our economy and tourism in all ways.
Yeah.
Hotels,
Yeah.
other attractions, etc.
Nice. All right. That all will get underway by Memorial Day, but all this starts. Can you print that out off the website?
Yeah, so you just go on the website, print it out, have the child 1 to 17 color it, and then you can even take a picture of it with your phone and then email it in. Like,
Okay.
You don't have a
And we'll
scanner.
hold on a couple of copies here at the WIBX studio. So anybody who comes over to WIBX today, we talk to Megan in our front desk, and she'll hand you one of the entry forms for your child.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Avian flu. How are you with all these things that are going on? How do you guys get through all of this?
Yeah, so this has actually been going on for a couple of years. I mean, I can remember a couple of years ago, our veterinarian said, okay, trucks and vendors coming into the zoo are going to have their tires washed at the entrance.
Oh, my gosh.
When we go into exhibits, that when the animal care staff goes in, we always have some quarantine measures, but there's some extra ones now, PPE. Then it started to be take away the feed machines. Then it started to be, and this is zoos throughout the entire country, some more, some less. Birds can't be outside now.
Yeah.
Off exhibit during the migratory bird season. We made a decision. We were going to bring in this really cool pheasant called the silver pheasant. It's Asian. We were all set.
They're beautiful.
Yes, and it was coming in from Asia, or from the Toledo Zoo. We're all set. We are not going to bring it in now because the exhibit would have had to have such little screening to not allow migratory birds in that people wouldn't have been able to see the pheasant.
And it also wouldn't have been fair to the pheasant either.
I mean, there still would have been all that airflow, et cetera, but it just would have felt a little more closed in.
Yeah.
So we're making decisions and we're being very cautious. And also our veterinarian is really in the know because our veterinarian is also a large animal veterinarian for local farms.
Yeah.
And it's really hitting the agriculture in many areas besides birds.
Right. And you can imagine that zoos could be very, very terribly affected.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so we're just, we all got sick of those words, abundance of caution during COVID. It just seemed to become like this new phrase. But, we are conservative and cautious.
Yeah.
And we have, first and foremost, take the best care we can of our animals, our staff, and the people who come to visit us.
All right. Yeah. And I would just ask you back on the dinosaur exhibit. I'm assuming there are other things that you can look at past this. If this is successful, but what a great opportunity to have a different theme each year that
there's other kinds of they're called exhibits that travel and they're usually just for a season, so we're really hoping, let's face it takes $7,000 a day to run the Utica Zoo because we are open during the winter.
Really?
Like
$7,000?
Yes, and as you mentioned, Bill, we're open all year round, but we don't really get that revenue from November through March. So we're coming into our peak season. We're hoping that this really gives us a boost so that we can not only have a great season, have a rainy day fund, but also put funds toward a new permanent exhibit. Right. We have a master plan. You might remember we rolled it out in 2016, and we have some great species that we want to bring into the Utica Zoo. And just the fact that we're so hilly, it can be a challenge, but it's also really cool. We call ourselves an urban forest, and we can really bring in some great species. But to make it for season and take the best care of these animals and have visitors see them all year round, we need buildings.
Right.
And buildings are high cost.
Yeah, yeah.
Our dream animal for our Dream Big master plan is a giraffe exhibit. We're talking, in excess of $11 million.
Right. Wow.
But that's like on the dream board.
It's the dream board.
Is this dinosaur Has this been? Where else can?
It's been Miami, Seattle,
Okay.
Dallas, San Antonio.
So
it was
big
actually,
cities.
Oh, big cities. It's actually international. It's in Australia right now. The team coming here is just finishing there. It's based out of Dallas. And actually, the Rosemont Gifford Zoo had it 2 years ago. But we are the only. We're told by this company, and it's very much a utilized company from big zoos, that we're the only one in our whole central New York region having these type of dinosaurs this year, at least from this company. And there's not a gazillion of these companies.
So you may get people that come from Albany, come from
we
Syracuse
actually
area.
already get a lot of people from Albany.
Yeah.
We are their zoo. Albany
I never
doesn't
thought
have a
about
zoo.
that, but there's no zoo there.
There's no zoo. The next, there's some animal parks that are open seasonally, like just in the summer.
Yep.
The next actual zoo is in Dutchess County.
Wow. And also, so I grew up on zoo books, and my nieces are growing up on the books that my sister and I read, and so they're animal lovers. So when I showed them, when I first moved in here, you know how you have the map of all the animal exhibits? I let them look at it, and they're going, they have Pallas's cats, they have painted dogs. Like, they're already so excited because you feature animals that not a lot of zoos in our region offer to be seen.
Yeah, even our beavers. So we have a
so
beaver
cute.
exhibit, and for a little while we didn't have beavers, and we just went to Indiana a few weeks ago and picked up 3 beavers, and so they're here at the zoo, and it's really apropos that we have beavers because we own Beaver Sprite in Dolgeville.
I was just going to ask you about Beaver Sprite.
Yeah.
The woman that,
I read your mind.
The woman that that for years owned Beaver Sprite.
And she had them living in the home. And the coolest thing about going into Dorothy's home, and tours are available, Megan and I have talked about this, is you can actually see the woodwork and the furniture in her home. It's all gnawed by beavers chewing on it. She had a pool in her home. The pool is still there for interest and for field trips and for education purposes. We don't have beavers living in the home, but man, there are beavers on site. There's mink and bear and eagle and deer and fox and you name it. Our staff sees a lot of wildlife.
Especially when I worked in the beginning of my career, worked in Little Falls. It was that and I did not know you guys now own that.
Well, it was donated to us in 2019, and we had big plans, and then COVID hit.
Right.
But we're slowly making our way back. We have a great guy who's the coordinator down there, Harry Cole. I swear he just knows Dorothy's story like it's his. He can really tell her story, and so check out our social media. We're going to open it back up in May. And it'll be open right through to the end of fall. It's beautiful there, all of those seasons.
Yeah. I just read something recently about there was some problem with a river or a stream or whatever the story was, and they were estimating it would be about a year and a half, and I don't know how many $1 million to repair this problem, and without any expectation, these beavers came and in about 48 hours did it for nothing.
See, thank you for bringing up that side of the story.
That's
because
wild.
So frequently, beavers are only discussed as the problem animal, but they are part of the wheel of life. And the problem is we've gone in and interrupted that. That's one of the reasons why beavers are thought of, as a problem. But thank you for bringing up that story. Bill, you've been the optimism today. Thank you.
I'm a very optimistic person.
But when you talk about the zoo, you are. I remember you called me from another country about our bamboo.
Yes.
So, yeah, you are.
I did. I could not. The fact that you grow bamboo in Utica, New York is
and we do. And it's
wild.
beautiful. Yeah, it does die in the winter, and we have some problems because a lot of our animals, particularly our red pandas, that is a part of their nutrition, not their whole diet.
Yeah.
But for many of our animals, it's a snack, and everyone likes it. And when it dies, we've got to purchase some.
Okay.
But then right now, it's it'll come
thriving,
back and it thrives.
Yeah, and I would think with the warmer winters prior to this year, I was getting stuff coming, like tomatoes were coming back. It's crazy.
And
by the way,
had a winter.
After I made that call from Europe to you, did you get off the phone and say, "What a weirdo"?
No. I actually said this is really cool. I mean, for people that know little tidbits about us, I go there every day, and I've been there since 2011. I'm still like a little kid, sense of wonder there. But we forget to tell some people some of the coolest things about us because we see it every day.
Yeah.
But there are cool things at the Utica Zoo.
Really cool.
It is awesome.
And to have a zoo in a city our size
is
really, really neat, especially AZA accredited.
That's really awesome. Andrea Heath, Utica Zoo, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I got to tell you, if you're a teacher, I know that tonight, Utica City FC is having teacher night. If you're a teacher in a local school district, there's still time to book a trip. the dinosaur thing will blow these kids' minds.
Really well.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Got a break. Coming up, we'll do news, then Hobica's free money question of the day. After that, we'll speak with Blake Jenderbean, the former now Democratic candidate in the NY21 congressional race, because Elise Stefonic is not stepping down, but will be up for re-election next year. Does this mean that the Democrats already have their candidate? We'll talk to him coming up at WIBX.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Fix all your fender benders, small or big. Call Malgeri's Auto Body before you call your insurance company. Let Malgeri's take care of everything from start to finish. They work with all major providers and use factory paint and parts, plus laser measuring to make your vehicle new again. It's 100% guaranteed, and Malgeri's always details your car before they return it. Malgeri's Auto Body, now located at 1216 Bleecker Street, Utica. Call 315-735-4488, keeping you on the road since 1928.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has supported and will continue to support the people of Israel with life-saving security essentials. Your gift today will help save lives by providing bomb shelters, armored security vehicles and ambulances, firefighting equipment, flak jackets and bulletproof vests, and so much more. Give a gift to bless Israel and her people by visiting supportifcj.org. That's one word, supportifcj.org.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:30. I'm Megan Stone. It is cloudy outside and 34 degrees. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. For the second time this week, a juvenile has been arrested for making a threat toward a school. New Hartford police said this latest event happened Wednesday when Perry Junior High School received a threatening message about its upcoming 9th grade dinner dance. Police were immediately notified, and a 17-year-old student was arrested yesterday by the New Hartford Police Criminal Investigation Division. The student was charged with making a terroristic threat, which is a Class D felony. The minor was taken to Oneida County Family Court and was held due to several factors. The school was granted an order of protection. A local woman was arrested for stealing a victim's wallet at the New Hartford Dollar Tree. According to New Hartford, police officers were called to the store on February 23rd, where a victim said her purse vanished from the employee break room. Following an investigation, authorities arrested 29-year-old Demetiza Pritchard and say she went into the restricted area and stole the victim's wallet. Pritchard then allegedly used the victim's money to buy items at the store. Pritchard was charged with third-degree burglary and fourth-degree grand larceny, both felonies, and petty larceny. She was remanded to Oneida County Jail after arraignment. The State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision says a suspicious substance found at Marcy Correctional Facility was not hazardous. A sergeant at the facility picked up an envelope while doing rounds yesterday, and the substance was spotted inside of it. She started feeling ill and was brought to a hospital to get checked out. There is no word yet what the substance was. And the final Maple Weekend of the year is kicking off tomorrow across New York State. Maple Farms will be opening up their doors and giving folks the chance to taste pure maple syrup directly from the source. The Empire State is second in the United States in maple syrup production, with roughly 846,000 gallons of it produced every year. To find the full list of events, head to mapleweekend.nysmaple.com. And if you have a favorite maple supplier, let us know by hitting us up on the WIBX mobile app and shooting us a message using the chat feature. Your WIBX news time is 7:33. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
Pretty mild day today, but some concern that overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, especially in the Adirondacks, the North Country, we could see some frozen precipitation. We rode through today, partial sun close to 50. Tonight, 40, colder north with some rain showers locally, maybe a little ice a little further north, and some showers around on Saturday with a high 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM. 34
degrees outside under clearing skies. I'm Megan Stone.
All right, we'll get into this Elise Stefonic thing. The Democratic candidate was picked right off the bat, very early in this race. And what happens next for him? Blake Jenderbean is a farmer in the North Country. We'll speak with him coming up. And Davey, we're looking for a free money winner here this morning. $200 on the line. Had one winner earlier this week. And what are you thinking? What caller number?
Caller 6.
6 caller. It's worth. Do you have a reason for number 6? Is it like 6? The number of times that a Yankees struck out on the Yankees won pretty well yesterday.
They won 4-2, but it kind of got dicey in the bottom of the ninth when the new closer came in, Devin Williams, and loaded the bases up, got into a couple jams, but he ended up getting out, and the Yankees are 1-0.
1-0. How
compared
about,
to the other team, 0-1.
Right. You're a big comparer to the Mets. I would say, considering, and I may be going out on a limb, but considering this is Game 1 of the season.
161 more games left.
You may want to be careful about passing judgment just yet.
Yeah.
Although the stinking Dodgers are 3-0.
Sure are.
Hate them.
They looked good last night.
They're going to be tough to beat, I'm afraid. All right. We're looking for caller number 6, right? 315-736-0186. Hobica's free money question for $200 is next on WIBX.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Estella's Pharma.
It's hard to know what to do when you lose a loved one. You need someone you can trust to help you navigate all the options. Mohawk Valley Monuments has been providing comfort and delivering quality memorials in our community for over 95 years. Mohawk Valley Monuments has experience with all the local cemeteries, from simple grave markings to intricate family mausoleums. For personalized service, call us today at 315-724-7629 or visit us at mohawkvalleymonuments.com.
Are you a CDPAP home care user or caregiver? Switch to PPL before April 1st to ensure a smooth transition. It's fast and easy, over the phone, online, at an in-person or virtual session, or with a CDPAP facilitator. Call PPL at 833-247-5346. That's 833-247-5346. Visit pplfirst.com/CDPAP. Register today. A message from the New York State Health Department.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has supported and will continue to support the people of Israel with life-saving security essentials. Your gift today will help save lives by providing bomb shelters, armored security vehicles and ambulances, firefighting equipment, flak jackets and bulletproof vests, and so much more. Give a gift to bless Israel and her people by visiting supportifcj.org. That's one word, supportifcj.org.
Coming Saturday, April 5th.
The Rome Capitol Theater presenting the Paragon Ragtime Orchestra in a pageant of American music, featuring theater organist David Peckham. The Paragon Ragtime Orchestra is the world's only year-round professional ensemble, recreating America's original music, the syncopated sounds of our country's popular music from the 1890s through the 1920s. Saturday, April 5th at 7 p.m. Tickets and information at romecapital.com.
Tickets on sale now.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Okay, it's Friday. Tonight, the Pioneers take on The curry, what are they, Davey? The curry powders.
You got me. I'll look it up.
Anyway, Curry isn't. Listen, they're the number 2 team in the country. It'll be a tough game. Frozen 4 in Utica tonight starts with Geneseo and Hobart at 3 o'clock at the Nexus Center. Also, Comets play tomorrow night at the Odd. And tonight and Sunday at the Odd is Utica City FC. Tonight is teacher night, and we have some tickets to give away for that. I also have a standing room only seats to give away for tonight's game, Utica and Curry. This is a sold-out game. We have tickets, Davey.
They are the Colonials.
The Colonials, the Curry Colonials from Massachusetts. Chris is in Cassville. Good morning, Chris. How you doing? Good morning.
Morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. You ready to go here?
Ready to go.
You know you'll have 7 seconds to answer the question, and it's worth $200. And here we go. You'll have 7 seconds. Here's your question. From the Opeka Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Opeka at 315-724-1600. Here we go. Beaverland, how one weird blank made America. What's the blank? Ready, go.
Hail.
What was that?
Hail.
Hail. How one weird hail made America. Beaverland, how one weird blank made America. We're just talking about the beavers. Turns out rodent was is the title of the book, which actually, and thanks to John out there for sending me this children's book, but it also includes a lot about beaver sprite up in the Downsville area. Salisbury, I think, is where it is. All right, listen, I want to give you an opportunity here. Are you interested in soccer?
Yep.
Okay. If you could go to tonight's game, how many tickets would you prefer?
I would prefer 4.
We're going to give you a 4-pack of tickets to tonight's game at the Adirondack Bank Center. And we'll give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card, which you could use inside the Odd any way you like. So stand by. Davey's going to hook you up.
Great. Thanks, Bill.
All right.
Appreciate
Good stuff, Chris. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Chris in Cassville. All right. We mentioned what a day yesterday learning about all this stuff with Elise Stefonic and a move that it can be read in a lot of different ways. One way Democrats are reading this is that they'd selected a pretty viable candidate and that the president and Republicans may have been a bit worried. Also because the Conservative Party seemed to be in a different direction than the Republican Party, possibly splitting the race, splitting the ticket. Blake Jenderbean is a farmer in the North Country, and he's with us right now. Blake, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good morning, Bill. Thank you for having me.
So how do you you went from getting ready for a big race that was going to happen very quickly to no race at all? Very quickly.
Yeah, it's all right. We're handling it just fine. We feel really good about where we are. And as a farmer, we have starts and stops, and weather is something we can't control. And sometimes there's just things you can't control.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep focused and keep plowing the field.
All right. So I want to ask you, obviously, although the word is that Stefonic may not be there to fill out her entire term, which would mean there would still possibly be a special election. Maybe once everybody gets past all of these very close votes, a razor-thin majority President Trump has in the House. No matter what, are you, like, let's say she stays and the midterms come along. Will you challenge her in the midterms?
Yes, I'm in it. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. What is your assessment? What have you heard as to how do you paint this picture as to why they did what they did yesterday?
Well, Bill, what I can tell you is I am for the North Country. It's my slogan. Where you are in the Mohawk Valley, it's one of the most historic areas in the country. I'm focused on a local race. I'm focused on what people really are concerned with, what's happening in their day-to-day lives. And I think that messaging, that genuine messaging, I'm born and raised in this district, I actually really care about people. I think people agree on most of the issues inside of the margins. And that messaging seems to be resonating, gaining support. We're going to continue going out there. We're going to continue talking to people. We're going to continue having town halls and meet and greets. And we're just not stopping. And I think people really appreciate that. They just want to be listened to and heard and get some feedback.
You certainly, for if it is a midterm race, you would have a really big head start.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in an enviable position. So I started this process last November. Started learning, started figuring out what to do, started building a team, started getting support. We're in a great spot. We're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep working.
All right. I do want to ask what your strategy was, and maybe you've already answered this, but just to lay it out there for people. The 21st Congressional District currently has several more Republicans than Democrats. However, there is a large number of independents. So what was the strategy? How do you get past that deficit when it comes Republican versus Democrats?
Okay, so again, it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but I'm actually from the district. And when you're from the district, you have friends on both sides of the aisle. I am not in an echo chamber of one side or the other. I operate with a friend group and a community that lives in the margins. And so I'm just being myself. I'm just appealing to people that care about lower costs at the dinner table. I live on the border. My son went to prom with a ICE agent's daughter. Like I am part of the community. We all want to fix immigration. We all want federal and state law enforcement officers to be able to communicate on the border and share information. We all want to support small businesses, which are the backbone of the North Country, the Hudson Valley, the Mohawk Valley, the Adirondack. And we all want our veterans, our seniors, our families, and our kids to have great health care, especially our veterans. I really struggle inside to understand why our veterans don't have the best health care in the world. I just can't figure that out. I don't even know why we talk about it.
We're speaking with Blake Jenderbean, and he was the 21st Congressional District candidate he would be going against a Republican and possibly a conservative as well. When Elise Stefonic steps down, I'm sure everybody's heard the news. She is not stepping down. Taking one for the team, I believe is how she describes it. So let's talk about that team, Blake. Where are you at odds with the Trump administration right now?
Well, certainly tariffs. What's happening right now is there's going to be a snap election in Canada. And so the two candidates are talking about who's tougher on the United States. So that's putting a sour taste in people's mouths on the Canadian side of the river. And we're losing bridge traffic. We call it bridge traffic here in Lisbon along the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
Many small businesses here rely on bridge traffic, on Canadians coming over. They're just not coming over like they were. So business is down. And that doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If business is down, business is down.
Yeah.
So we need to fix that. And when tariffs come on, we have Alcoa, the oldest aluminum plant, I believe, continually operating aluminum plant in the United States on the St. Lawrence River. And they're terrified about what tariffs are going to do. So the whole confidence of the area is really rattled. And then we also want to make sure, again, that our veterans and that our seniors have the benefits that they've earned. And I promise to never make cuts to veteran benefits, senior benefits, Medicaid for families. That's a no-go zone for us here in the North Country.
It's funny how you do that. Terrified. I'm surprised Democrats aren't running with it. Maybe you just did. Maybe you started a new catchword terrified. Speaking of the tariffs, how do you explain away, though, what President Trump says is that, Canada has a large tariff on the United States. It's 25%. We're just simply, we're just answering back and saying we're making it even. How do you respond to that?
So I was talking with the North Country Community Development Chamber of Commerce group over in Plattsburgh. They are the suburb of Montreal.
Yeah.
They've developed an entire industry around their relationship with Montreal and the aerospace industry. That has revitalized Plattsburgh, and we cannot afford to lose that. There are so many local jobs in Plattsburgh based around the relationship with Quebec and Montreal, and it really is America's suburb of Montreal. It's a booming part of the North Country, and I don't want to lose that. Yeah. And I think these tariffs, these retaliatory tariffs, really hurt that.
So I have somebody sent in. I don't know that these are accurate, but there is an interesting reason for this. And we're talking about the tariffs that Canada has on the United States. So, for instance, a 263% tariff on chicken, 179% on turkey. There's a tariff on butter. There's a tariff on beef, a 77% tariff on pork. Why is a 25 retaliatory tariff? Ours, which is what really the president is saying, we're just leveling the playing field. How is that not leveling the playing field if they have those imposed on the United States?
Bill, I am all for fair trade agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want to bring back manufacturing from China, yeah, let's do that. The North Country will benefit from that immediately. What I do know about our relationship with Canada, and I can talk about milk specifically.
Yeah.
At Agrimark, we send 4 loads a week into Canada. Milk is tight in the North Country. If those loads don't go into Canada, those loads likely get dumped or sold at a loss, and the farmers in the North Country lose money. So our relationship right now, especially in agriculture, is beneficial, and we don't want to lose that.
I think one of the things that I've seen on Canadian news that they speak of is, for instance, the chicken tariff at 263%. The reason that is in place is so that a country much larger like the United States doesn't buy up all of the chicken in Canada. So once we reach a certain plateau, a certain level of purchases, then the tariff would kick in, which would dissuade the United States from buying any more, which would put the Canadian citizens at a deficit. And in fact, according to this report that I saw, we have not even reached that plateau. So these tariffs have never really gone into effect. That there's a lot more into the tariffs from Canada to the United States than what the president is currently saying and currently doing. Your thoughts on that and any knowledge on that?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about with the dairy. So we can send loads of milk into Canada. If that product is made in Ontario or Quebec, loads of raw milk. If that product is made in Ontario or Quebec and a certain percentage is sold back into the United States, it's a very favorable agreement for farmers in the United States. And so these relationships are just a little more nuanced, and I think using a scalpel and what I call fair trade agreement is really the way to go.
All right. So you are in it, whether it's going against another candidate in a special election or possibly going after at least Stefonic in a race during the midterms.
Absolutely. I'm in it. I'm not going anywhere.
All right. Any plans to visit the Mohawk Valley, Utica, Rome, Mohawk Valley?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I already love it down there. And like I said before, this is my neighborhood. This is my home. Can't wait.
All right.
We'll be around the whole district as much as possible.
All right, Blake. Hopefully we'll get you in studio.
Yeah, thank you. We'll call you when we're there.
All right, thanks so much. Blake Jenderbean, and he is the Democratic candidate. Later this morning, I know that later in the week, we'll have Joe Rakowski. He is traveling currently. Anthony Constantino, who was another one. We've heard many of his commercials all over radio and television. Anthony Constantino will be in studio at 8:30 this morning. We'll get his take on all of this after Elise Stefonic stepping out of the race. 7:54 WIBX.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
The First Bloom bridal event is on now through April 30th at Steve Lennon & Company Jewelers in New Hartford. This is Bill Keeler. 30% off engagement ring settings. Buy one, get one free wedding bands. In-store 12-month interest-free financing with some exclusions and an amazing custom bridal line with custom-made wedding rings and bands. Repairs are done in-store in front of you by GIA-certified master jewelers and gemologists. Steve Lennon & Company Jewelers, 23 Genesee Street, New Hartford. Your trusted jeweler for over 30 years. Private appointments upon request.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
So, portions of the program brought to you by the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and as we said, accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor, or you're having health issues that you need, a pain that you need dealt with, or you can't get an answer, Dr. Schmemells, Dr. Zielinski, a great approach to dealing with what ails you. You do not need a referral. You can choose them as your family doctor or as a specialist. Simply call the Falcon Clinic at 315-507-4751 and find out why so many people swear by the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, 315-507-4751 is the phone number. Any comments on that? Feel free, 315-736-0186. Joe says, good questions on the tariffs. Rick, those Canadian tariffs that you just mentioned on food products are after they hit a certain threshold where they flood the market. It's not on everyday items. In other words, the tariff in those products that do not exist daily says, think of it this way, for example, if they import 100,000 chickens, there's no tariff. But they have to import 2 million chickens, then there would be a tariff. And that is done so that they don't deplete their market for their citizens because we're just much bigger. So if you have a comment, who's on one, Davey? Is this... I can't hear you. Huh?
Mike and Skyler on the game.
Oh, it's Mike and Skyler. It just comes up as anonymous to me. That sounds so mysterious. Mike and Skyler, good morning.
Hey, what's going on?
Do you watch Severance?
Oh, yes, I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
And I did hear you talking to Willie today. Yes,
I'm only in the beginning of it, so don't tell me too much. But it does get.
You wait till the thing's over, till it's off,
okay,
and you watch it from the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're like 4 or 5 episodes in. It's starting to get interesting, I guess.
And you're in the
saying.
first season?
Yeah.
Or the second?
First.
You're in the first season.
So there's more to come.
Yeah, remember the second season, I'm not saying nothing, but remember the train station.
Station in Utica.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did see that. That was a good
How
one.
did it look? How did the train station look?
Morning. Oh, yeah, you could definitely tell. tell. And it was kind of neat to see that.
All right.
But yeah, I like that show. Now I put down you said Studio. That looks like a good one. The Studio show.
Okay. Yeah, that is with Seth Rogen. That's really good too. You got to check that out.
I wrote that down to watch that. But yeah, I'm looking.
Are you calling to brag about the Yankees? Is that what you're doing?
Well, not really brag.
Oh my God! It's the first game of the season, for God's sakes.
A little history was made because Austin Wells, he was the first leadoff person
Catcher. Yeah.
to start for the Yankees, and he gets a home run, becoming the first catcher ever to get a home run on opening day to start the season.
Yeah,
he got a home run to start the game.
Leadoff home. Yes, a leadoff home run. That was pretty impressive.
But did you hear about Tyler O'Neill though on the Orioles?
I did not.
He had a home run on opening day today, and that's 6 years in a row he's had a home run on opening day.
That's really cool.
There you go. I wonder if people are going to bet on it next year.
Yeah, can you imagine betting on that this year? I wonder what that would have paid, because the odds of that happening. What did you say? 6 years in a row?
6 years in a row.
That's crazy.
It's crazy that that happened. But,
all right. Anything else? Anything else quickly, because I'm coming up against the dreaded clock.
No, I just wanted to get that in. Severance. I won't say. Let me know when you finish that. But we'll talk about that.
Well, it's going to be a while. We're going slowly, but it is just getting intense. There's an uprising underway right now, so we'll see where it all goes. All right, Mike. Good stuff. Go Yankees. I can't even believe I would say that, but for you, I will. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Mike and Skylar, you do the same. News coming up next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. A Town Square media station.
They're trying to rescue people from the rubble. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. In Bangkok, Thailand, shaken by a powerful earthquake.
This building was just moving, dust and debris. It was pretty intense.
That building under construction collapsed, leaving 90 people missing. At least 3 others were killed by the magnitude 7.7 quake that was centered in Burma, where there are varying reports on deaths, but no confirmation from the military-run government. Video shows a bridge collapse, other destruction to homes and religious shrines, and there's also damage across the border in China. The quake felt a few thousand miles away. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is in the Philippines, an ally in the Pacific, countering China.
President Trump seeks peace. That's my message here as well. But in order to bring that peace, we will be strong.
Now, the U.S. appears to have gone on the attack in Yemen again, with reports of airstrikes today targeting Houthi militants, weeks after the deadly American strikes hit those rebels, which got controversial when a journalist was mistakenly invited into a Signal group chat involving Hegseth and other top U.S. officials discussing that military action. A federal judge has ordered that all those messages be preserved, and Republicans are pushing back on all the recent judges' rulings against Trump administration action. Senator Ashley Moody tells Fox,
"You cannot tie a leader, an American president's hands while they're trying to lead for the American people, especially as it relates to national security or foreign policy."
Now, the vice president's on his way to Greenland, which has been pushing back on President Trump's push for the U.S. to take control of the Denmark territory. Fox's Peter Ducey reports from the White House.
The Greenland crew today, that's in the air as we speak, is Vice President Vance, the Second Lady Usha Vance, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Energy Secretary Chris Wright, and Senator Mike Lee. And they are all going to visit a Space Force base in Greenland.
We need Greenland for national security and international security. So I think we'll go as far as we have to go.
America's listening to Fox News.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Only 2 things in life are certain: death and taxes. How about one more? Switch from Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile to cut your bill in half with Pure Talk. For just $25 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, 5 gigs of data on America's most dependable 5G network. Making the switch, it's simple, fast, and easy. You dial pound 250, you say the keyword Pure Talk, and make the switch. You do it now, you save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, wireless, by Americans, for Americans.
President Trump needs to make a new choice to be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, withdrawing Elise Stefanic's nomination, wanting the Congresswoman to remain in the House to preserve a slim Republican majority.
A White House official told Fox the American people need every Republican vote in the House to enact President Trump's agenda. So the decision was made to keep Stefonic in the House. She was on Fox's Hannity when she said she spoke to President Trump several times about it.
I consider him a friend. I'm proud to be a leader in the House in terms of one of his top allies, and that will continue to be the case.
But House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said Trump withdrew Stefanic's nomination due to politics in her congressional district in New York. In a statement, Jeffries said the extremists are afraid they will lose the special election to replace her. Jill Nato, Fox News.
There is more tension over abortion policy between Texas and New York, where an Ulster County clerk is refusing to process a fine against a doctor.
Invoking New York's telemedicine shield law. Last month, a Texas judge ordered Dr. Margaret Carpenter, who practices in the county about 2 hours north of New York City, to pay $113,000 for breaking Texas law by prescribing abortion medication via telemedicine. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton followed up last week by asking a New York court to enforce the civil judgment. Paxton said he was outraged by the refusal and signaled he would take action. Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down modestly ahead of another inflation update we're going to get later this hour. Half the Elite Eight is now set in the men's college basketball tournament.
I believe in our team.
That is Coach Grant McCaslin. After Texas Tech's big comeback forced overtime where they beat Arkansas 85-83. Top seeds Duke and Florida also won to advance. Alabama set a tournament record with 25 three-pointers and a 113-88 blowout over BYU. 4 more games tonight. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. It is 35 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. For the second time this week, a juvenile has been arrested for a threat toward a school. New Hartford police said this latest event happened Wednesday when Perry Junior High School received a threatening message about its upcoming 9th grade dinner dance. Police were immediately notified, and a 17-year-old was arrested yesterday by the New Hartford Police Criminal Investigation Division. The student was charged with making a terroristic threat, which is a Class D felony. The minor was taken to Oneida County Family Court and was held due to several factors. The school was granted an order of protection. The Cornell University student facing deportation had his relief request denied by a federal judge. Judge Elizabeth Coombe ruled in favor of the Trump administration, which accused Mamadou Tall of supporting Hamas. Tall, a 31-year-old dual citizen of the UK and Gambia, had his student visa revoked and was told to surrender to ICE for removal. Tall had filed suit to block the order, saying the threat of deportation violated his free speech rights. Judge Coombs said Tall didn't meet the high burden for the restraining order. President Donald Trump has withdrawn Elise Stefonic as his nominee for U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, so she will remain in Congress. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said it's essentially Congresswoman's stay in the House, as Republicans need every seat they can get due to their narrowing majority. The president said Stefonic has been vital to pushing forward his administration's agenda. He added he doesn't want to take a chance on anyone else running for her seat. And some of the top color guard teams in the state will be in Central New York tomorrow. The Mid-York Color Guard Circuit is holding its championship meet at North Syracuse Junior High School. Dozens of squads will take the floor throughout the day, performing routines that they've worked on for months. The first show begins at 10:30 a.m. and tickets cost $16 for adults, while kids ages 6 through 12 and seniors 65 and older can get in for $14. Your WIBX news time is 8:07. Here is your full weather forecast.
Pretty mild day today, but some concern that overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, especially in the Adirondacks, the North Country, we could see some frozen precipitation. We roll through today, partial sun close to 50. Tonight, 40, colder north with some rain showers locally, maybe a little ice a little further north, and some showers around on Saturday with a high 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It is 35 degrees under cloudy skies. 4 teams have locked up their spot in the Elite Eight for the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Top-seeded Florida knocked off 4-seed Maryland 87-71 in the West region before 3-seed Texas Tech toppled 10-seed Arkansas 85-83 in overtime. The Gators and Red Raiders will face off in the Elite Eight on Saturday. In the East region, top-seeded Duke defeated 4-seed Arizona 100-93, and 2-seed Alabama took care of business with a 113-88 takedown of 6-seed BYU. The Blue Devils and Crimson Tide will battle for a Final Four spot on Saturday. The action continues today with 4 more Sweet 16 matchups. The Yankees topped the Milwaukee Brewers 4-2. Carlos Rodon picked up the victory after striking out 7 batters. Austin Wells led off the bottom of the first with a home run. Anthony Volpe also hit a solo shot. New York will continue the 3-game series tomorrow. The Mets opened up the season with a 3-1 loss to the Houston Astros. Clay Holmes was charged with the loss after allowing 3 runs, 2 of them earned. On 5 hits and 4 walks, Francisco Lindor drove in the only game of the game for the Mets with a sac fly in the top of the 9th. New York continues the 3-game series tonight. The NASCAR Cup Series makes a stop at the classic track this Sunday. The field battles from Martinsville Speedway in the Cookout 400. Kyle Larson is hoping to build momentum on his Straight Talk Wireless 400 victory at Homestead Miami Speedway last weekend. The driver of the number 5 car is second in the standings, while William Byron leads the pack. Your WIBX News Time is 8:07. I'm Megan Stone.
All right, coming up, we will speak with a forest ranger on these fires that are occurring around the state and in central New York. We'll get to that. And Gridley Paige is doing a show at the Turning Stone coming up. We're going to have them in studio. And then Anthony Constantino, the 21st congressional race candidate, who we've heard a lot from. He's coming up at 8:30 this morning on WIBX. Scott, stand by. I'm coming right back with you.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has supported and will continue to support the people of Israel with life-saving security essentials. Your gift today will help save lives by providing bomb shelters, armored security vehicles and ambulances, firefighting equipment, flak jackets and bulletproof vests, and so much more. Give a gift to bless Israel and her people by visiting supportifcj.org. That's one word, supportifcj.org.
Attention tax accountants. The following message is for you. This tax season, Blue Jay has your back. The leading generative AI solution for tax research. With Blue Jay, you instantly get better tax answers to even the most complex questions, saving you time and helping you maximize your clients' refunds. For a limited time, save 40% off at bluejay.com/start now. That's BLUE, the letter J.com/start now. Or text BLUE to 511-511. Text BLUE to 511-511. Tax fees may apply.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jose Lopez from the band Showtime.
I'm Justin from the band Showtime. We'll be the house band on May 10th at the Rome Capitol Theater during CNY On Stage Live.
It'll be a wonderful event full of great acts,
dancers, comedians, and singers.
And you could be one of those singers fronting the band Showtime on the Capitol stage.
Complete details at RomeCapitol.com.
Are you ready to sing in the spotlight on the Capitol stage with Showtime?
We'll see you there.
Before there was social media, streaming, and even color television, there was radio. Remember the golden days when you had to tune in to hear what happened to Hopalong Cassidy, or perhaps the Green Hornet? What if you could relive those days again? Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was, a show that's dedicated to the very best of radio's golden age. From classic performances by Jack Benny to tales of terror on Lights Out. It's all here on When Radio Was, starting every Sunday at 11 p.m., only on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Which classic broadcast will you hear next?
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Coffee is so good, it's Seattle's best. Try their iced coffee and their amazing cold brew coffee. Everything is made fresh every morning. That includes the donuts and the bagels, the croissants. And now introducing this sandwich I had one 2 days ago and I won yesterday. I'm now tied to it. And it feels like I'm eating something healthy. although I add it to a croissant. Introducing the new breakfast sandwich. It's the egg white frittata made with egg white, spinach, tomato, and feta cheese. You can have it on a bagel, English muffin, or the incredibly delicious homemade croissant made fresh there every single day. Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. Coming up later on in this hour, at some point, we're going to have you call in. We have tickets for tonight's Pioneers Curry game that you can't buy anymore. It is completely sold out, and these are standing room tickets. And I have a family pack to give away. Just stand by. We'll get to it coming up in a second. Quickly, I want to get Scott and Kirkville in here. Some big games last night. Florida moving forward. Duke moving forward. Scott, what do you think? Are you calling for Florida to win it all?
Well, I got a dog in the hunt. I got them winning the whole thing plus 550. So you're right. It was interesting because all the high-power scoring teams played last night. Tonight might be a lot more grinders.
Yeah.
You got Michigan State Kathy's team going against Mississippi. I got Purdue against Houston. That's an over-under is only 133. And then you got Auburn and Michigan, both of them. Auburn can get up and down the court. Michigan wants to play at half court, so it's the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be interesting. But last night's games were real good. I mean, I mentioned the Brigham Young game. Both could score over 100, and one did, and one shot lousy and still almost scored 100. So it just shows you right there. That Duke-Arizona game was classic. I had substantial money on the over 153 to start with. I didn't understand. That was probably the worst over-under. If you like the overs, both teams were averaging over 80 points a game in the tournament, and the over-under is only 153. So what happened, they scored 90 in the first half, and they scored almost 100 in the second half. But, hey, I want to thank the people out there. Thanks a lot for more clicks than Ryan Noble. I think that was good. And one of my favorite county executives is Pacente, taking on Hochul. Congratulations.
That was a big win.
He didn't take anything from Cuomo, didn't take anything from him. So congratulations to him. And have you ever heard of Lady Godiva?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
You heard? She's the best horse handicapper because every time she always put everything she had on a horse. So
okay. Put it all on the horse. Yeah.
She always put everything on the horse.
Can I?
I just want to say quickly because that's
sure you do.
Talk today. There's big horse racing. If you're following the Kentucky Derby Trail, this is a weekend you want to turn on. The Arkansas Derby is about 7:30 here on Fox 1 or FanDuel, and the Florida Derby. There's a horse that Bob Bafford's kind of reminds me of the horse Justified that won the Triple Crown. He only ran one race at 6 furlongs. He has to qualify. He hasn't qualified for the Derby. He's running the Arkansas Derby. His name is Cordatorbian. He's coming out of the 9-hole in the 13th race. If he wins that race, it's going to show he's a monster because you just don't win on that track from that far out. And also the Florida Derby has a horse called Sovereignty. And those two horses right there, if they win, they're going to the Derby. So so if you're on the Derby Trail and you want to keep an eye on horses, this is a big weekend.
What I did want to ask you is some of the reports nationally are that this year's NCAA tournament on the men's side is just anticlimactic. It's not the games aren't as exciting. I don't think that's true. What are your thoughts?
Well, the problem with, and I mentioned it before, the Cinderella is basically it's going to be a stink because these mid-majors, the reason why you had these upsets because you have players playing basically for 3 or 4 years, or they used to be older, and they played. Now, if you're good, you're being poached. Like Syracuse poached the Delaware player, and they were in the finals of their tournament, and we poached the Hofstra player. And Syracuse is not the only one, but basically you're not going to see that as much. And as far as, I mean, if you're playing like the office pool, it was going to be chalk. It heads or tails, and St. John's is the only 2 seed that didn't make it. So you're right. From a standpoint, I guess, of upsets like St. Peter's when they beat Purdue and
Yeah.
You're not going to see that too much
Well,
anymore.
but every game has been close. Really, when you get down to like 2 minutes or so, every game is close. And how do you beat that? That's good action, I think.
It depends on the eye of the beholder. I mean, producer Dave and I watched the games last night, and I said both teams could score over 100, and one did, and then the Duke game, and then it went overtime. I don't know if you caught probably didn't stay up that late, but you had the Texas Tech Arkansas. Arkansas had like 11 points.
So that was I think that was the first game.
Overtime.
The first game they went into overtime.
Yeah, exactly, and it was good. And Duke, Florida. It was interesting. By the way, sometimes rims matter. That we're watching the games. I don't know. We kept hearing like clunks at the Chase Center. Time that they hit. I don't know over microphone, but sometimes the rims were over in Jersey. There, you had the two highest scoring games, and you had to put the ball on the rim, and they're going in. So when you're looking at games like that, but I'm hoping for a Duke Florida game, because I think basically those are probably the two best teams matching up.
The tournament.
I hope Houston doesn't make it, because they're just a bunch of cloggers. They slow it down. And Michigan State's playing Mississippi. That's an interesting game there.
Kathy is all excited. Kathy and Rome. So all right, Scott.
Unfortunately, Cornell beat Michigan State in the hockey last night. So the Big Red had a big hockey game.
Listen, we've got our Frozen Four Division 3 going on here in Utica this week. So
Utica.
All right, good stuff, Scott. Thank you, man. Have a great day.
Bye.
Have a winning weekend. Do well. We've been hearing about this do not burn order in New York State, and you wonder why. We've had a lot of rain. We've had so much snow, but there are areas where the low level of humidity has caused some real tough, and have had some fires here, brush fires here locally. On the line right now is Forest Ranger Jeremy Oldroyd, and gives a little update on where we are right now. Jeremy, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So it was for us to hear there's a statewide ban, a burn ban. It did not seem to make sense, yet we here in Central New York, we've had some of those fires.
Yeah, wildfires is one of those events that we can kind of predict what's going to happen based on three factors: fuel, weather, and topography. Once those three line up, you can really kind of predict when and where you're going to have these fires. How we get those fires is those fine fuels, such as leaf litter and grass. It only takes a little bit of sunshine to dry them out, even though we might have some moisture in the morning.
Right.
Once they dry out later in the afternoon, they're an available fuel, as long as there's some sort of a ignition source to ignite them.
What has the ignition source been based on your investigations?
Typically, we get campfires that people don't put out all the way. People are burning debris. Power lines can cause fires, and lightning strikes. Are a lot of common ones around here.
And what are do you guys take a look at what the anticipation is for the season? I mean, a burn ban in the state after as much snow as we had, although downstate they did not get the snow that we have, and in other parts of the state. But as much snow and moisture as we've had, does this give you any indication of what the summer's going to be like?
The typical wildfire season is a springtime in New York, just because the fuels are dead and cured. Once we get green up into May, that's why the burn ban ends. May 15th. So things are green and the fuels aren't as readily available. But like last fall, we had a lot of fires because of drought conditions. It just depends on what type of moisture we're getting throughout the year.
And let's not forget the Canadian wildfires that while we didn't have the fires, we had the smog and the soot. And you'd go out to your driveway if your car was outside, and it would be covered in soot. I mean, we really got hit the last couple of years very hard.
Correct. They have some different fuels than we have here in central New York.
Yeah.
But we occasionally do get their weather patterns affecting us, so we do smell and can see the haze from the smoke from those fires.
And would you say the areas like in the Adirondacks, because pine is a really big problem, right? They tend to a good storm can blow over a pine tree, and they just with that sap and everything can really burn hot and out of control.
It's possible that could be a cause for wildfires, and it is a concern that the rangers have, especially those up that way.
Okay. All right. All right. Interesting stuff. Anything else you think we should know, Jeremy?
Just if you do happen to have campfires this time of year, make sure you put them out 100%. Put some water on them, stir it in, then put more water on it. Make sure it's cool to the touch before you walk away, so we don't have any wildfires in this area.
There's a very odd-looking Smokey the Bear commercial that I've been watching that really drives that message home. So I think people are seeing it.
Perfect. That's great.
All right, good stuff.
That message is getting out there. Yep. Thank you.
All right, Forest Ranger Jeremy Oldroyd, thank you for the update this morning. Have a great day. Thanks. Quick break, and Gridley Paige is doing their AM Gold show coming up at the Turning Stone. We were at their last show at the Turquoise Lounge, and
how was it?
Unbelievable how close they're able to get to the sound of the original song. I mean, it's just incredible. Anyway, we'll speak with them, and they're going to do a little performing coming up. In studio, Anthony Constantino on NY21, and the Elise the Stefonic, not exit, just the opposite, decision to stay, which really came out of the White House. We'll get to all that before we get out of here coming up.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:25. I'm Megan Stone. It's 35 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. For the second time this week, a juvenile has been arrested for a threat toward a school. New Hartford police said this latest event happened Wednesday when Perry Junior High School received a threatening message about its upcoming 9th grade dinner dance. Police were immediately notified, and a 17-year-old student was arrested yesterday by the New Hartford Police Criminal Investigation Division. The student was charged with making a terroristic threat, which is a Class D felony. The minor was taken to Oneida County Family Court and was held due to several factors. The school was granted an order of protection. The Cornell University student facing deportation had his relief request denied by a federal judge. Judge Elizabeth Coombe ruled in favor of the Trump administration, which accused Mamondo Tall of supporting Hamas. Tall, a 31-year-old dual citizen of the UK and Gambia, had his student visa revoked and was told to surrender to ICE for removal. Tall had filed suit to block the order, saying the threat of deportation violated his free speech. Judge Coombe said Tall didn't meet the high burden for the restraining order. Experts tend to focus on the kinds of foods you can eat to improve your health, but the speed at which you devour your dinner matters just as much. Scientists say you're eating too fast if you typically finish a regular-sized meal in less than 20 minutes. That means you could have a higher risk of obesity, swallow more air that leads to bloating, or have unchewed pieces of food lodged in your esophagus. Experts recommend slowing down by putting down the phone, turning off the TV, and focusing on the meal itself. WIBX News Time is 8:27. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Pretty mild day today, but some concern that overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, especially in the Adirondacks, the North Country, we could see some frozen precipitation. We rode through today, partial sun close to 50. Tonight, 40, colder north with some rain showers locally, maybe a little ice a little further north, and some showers around on Saturday with a high 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
35 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. I'm Megan Stone.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, gentlemen, pull up those microphones there. You got to get way... See, and Matt, if you can come in just a little bit this way, I'll see if I can get you both in on the shot. Tim, you stay where you are. Matt, just a little more. You got to hug him. Come on. Okay,
get close,
perfect.
like brothers.
Perfect. By the way, Tim, good morning. How are you guys doing?
And how are you?
Ever have food stuck in your esophagus?
No.
It would be difficult to sing if you did.
No, I couldn't do it.
No, you
I couldn't do it.
No.
I did. No. We did do it at a show that at a college. I made the mistake of we were taking the dares from the college students, and I decided to eat a crouton in the middle, and I couldn't get back into the swing of things. So
we used to do the "Can you eat 6 crackers in 60 seconds?" The saltines. No. It creates a quick-crete ball in your mouth, and then down into your throat and esophagus. It's really bad. I'm imagining someone could die from that.
The trick is putting all 6 in your mouth at once.
Okay, so you swallow it right down.
I think we need to abort this conversation.
Well, I'm wondering because we used to do this at the comedy club every show, and we'd pay $100 to somebody who could. And the key is to ball it up and swallow it whole. So, all right. I don't know if you were telling us that's how you did it, because you could have won $100 every show.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring back the comedy club. Let's do this. I'm also a champion at the Chubby Bunny contest.
We'll leave that one to another time. Gridley Paige, I got to say, watching you guys the last time, it was unbelievable how close you get to the originals. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, we love the music and we love what we do on this one. That helps.
Yeah,
that helps. But this is a new movement that's going on.
It is this yacht rock thing. Yeah.
So I mean, I think the last time you saw us, we had a fill-in drummer that night. We had Lenny Milano.
Yes.
Legendary Lenny Milano was actually filling in.
Yeah, that was real. And I didn't realize that until afterwards.
Yeah, it was just literally 4 hours notice he got.
Wow.
And he's like, well, I kind of wanted the night off. I'm like,
yeah,
we kind of need you, man. He's like, I stepped up and go, all right, can they have the drums up there? I'm like, yeah. So,
perfect.
So now we got actually a new drummer, actually.
Okay.
Johnny Osmond is now in the band.
All right. Very cool.
So we all have stage names from stuff.
Well, of course, So it is he's not a real Osmond.
He's not. Well, maybe he is. I mean,
it could be.
It could be. There's a lot of
know.
those people out there. So
you never know. All right, what do you want to do? A couple of tunes here for us?
Sure, we can try. We can try this morning. So
ready?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, AM Gold. And by the way, you're where tomorrow night at the Turning Stone?
Yeah. So that's why we came in, because we're moving to the gig.
At the gig,
because we outgrew Turquoise Tiger.
Good for you. You had a full major crowd there at the Turquoise Lounge.
Well, the thing is now we've added. That's what we've been having tech rehearsals for the last how many weeks? 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I guess, with the video wall. Different segments to the show, so we add a lot since you even saw us.
Yeah, okay, cool.
A lot of cool things.
All right.
All right.
Here we go, Gridley Paige.
Well, I tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed that I set my sights on Monday and I got myself undressed. Well, I ain't ready for the altar, but I do agree that it's time. What a woman sure can be a friend of mine. Well, I keep on thinking about you, Sister Golden Hair Surprise, and I just can't live without you. You can't see it in my eyes, but I've been one poor correspondent, and I've been to it doesn't mean you ain't a friend of mine. Will you meet me in the middle? Will you meet me in the air? Will you love me just a little, just enough to show you care? Well, I tried to fake it, I do my saying, just can't make it. Golden hair surprise, and I just can't live without you. You can't see it in my eyes. Now I've been one poor correspondent, and I've been too hard to find, but it doesn't mean you ain't a friend of mine. Will you meet me in the middle? Will you meet me in the air? Without me just a little, just enough to show you care. Well, I tried to fake it, I do my sin, I just can't make it. Do I do it, 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 do I do.
Nice. That's awesome. You want to try one more? Davey, can you get this? He's going to move your mic a little bit on the guitar. You want to try one more quickie?
Sure.
All right. This is Gridley Paige. Tomorrow night they will be at the gig at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino for their latest venture, which is AM Gold. And it's hot right now. You don't rock.
Yeah.
As they say. All right.
Don't rock.
Here we go.
Nothing is new, seen it here before. wine. What does it matter? In it for love, but you ain't gonna get too far. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boys, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boys, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. I wonder if I were you, knew what she can do. She's that man. She could really rip your world apart. Matter. Well, beauty's sad, but your face is in the heart. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here here she comes. She's a man-eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh, here she comes. She's a man-eater.
Very nice.
Thank you.
All right, Tim and Matt, great job, guys. As always, it's tomorrow night, 9 o'clock at the gig.
Doors open at 9.
Doors are open at 9.
Show is still
at the gig.
9.
One thing I do like about it, first of all, the sound is great in there, and the pizza is piping hot.
Oh, it is awesome.
Gotta love the pizza.
Awesome.
All right, gentlemen, great job. Thank you.
Thank you for coming
Paige.
by.
Quick break, and we'll come right back. Anthony Constantino got the word, like everybody else yesterday, that at least Stefonic is not stepping down after all of the investment. Is it for naught? And we'll get into it and figure it all out. Coming up next to WIBX.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Sometimes there's things that sound too good to be true.
But they actually are. Here's one.
The insanely low payment on a 2025 Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid X-Line all-wheel drive.
This is a $41,000 vehicle. Lease it for just $398 per month for 36 months.
And that's with zero down, zero due at inception, even sales tax included.
And it's loaded with sunroof, power liftgate, heated seats, and more.
This is all because of wacky government incentives.
Grab yours before they go away.
Now that's kooky.
Make that short drive to save.
So go kooky for Kia at Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
VIN number S72066666. MSRP $41,240. 36 months, 30,000 mile lease. 20 cents per mile over. $0 due at inception. $0 security deposit. 8.75% sales tax and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure. 720 plus FICO score. Includes New York State Drive Clean rebate. Offer expires 3/31/2025.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/radio. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, Davey, are you ready? We're going to do tickets for tonight's game. Sold out. Pioneers and Curry. They win tonight. They play in the national championship game on Sunday at 7 p.m. We need a win tonight in a very tight quarters in the Nexus Center. You'll have people on the seats, people hovering over, looking down. I feel like this is going to be a really cool atmosphere tonight. Now, we have, let's take, and I'm going to take the calls here. And then you want to bring him in? Okay. I'll take the calls here. And we'll make it call number 5. If you want tickets right now, 315-736-0186. Caller number 5, 315-736-0186. Pioneers Curry tickets These are standing room seats, unavailable, completely sold out. 315-736-0186. Right now, what did I say? Caller 5?
Caller 5.
Hi, you're calling number 1 there, Rob. Thanks, man. Caller number 2, try again. Caller 3. Caller 4. And on the line right now, here's caller number 5. Good morning.
What's happening, Bill?
How are you, Rob? Good morning, man.
Finally won something on the station.
Well, it's just terrible. Time after time after time, you can't win a thing here. It's brutal.
Till today.
All right, listen. How many tickets do you need for tonight's game?
Wow. Hey, I could take 3. I could take 2.
Let me give you 3, okay?
That would be amazing.
You have 3 for tonight in this sold-out game. I want you to stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. We'll need your information to be able to send them over to you electronically, okay?
You got it.
All right, stand by. Now, Davey, he gets 3. That leaves 2 for me to give away before 9 o'clock. And if at any point you hear Anthony Constantino say that piece of garbage, Elise Stefonic, that phrase in its entirety, you'll immediately call. You're not going to say that, are you? You're not going to say that. You're not going to say
That's
that.
not going to happen.
All right. All right. Well, listen, before we leave,
Me and Elise have known each other for a long time.
We'll give away another pair of tickets. And you can't buy these tickets. It is completely sold out. All right, Anthony Constantino, I'm just having a little fun with you. Good morning. I have you on camera. We're all good. Good morning. How are you? This was I got to tell you, for a lot of, not just you, but you have the chair people who have just been putting so much work into this to try to figure out who are they going to vote for. You have campaigns that have you have money that's been spent. You produced radio and television commercials. You had actually probably just pictured yourself in Congress, and all to have it wiped away with one announcement yesterday.
Well, I already saw this as an option, so I put percentages and everything. I saw this as an option. I put it at 20%, and, sometimes 20% shots hit. President Trump was at 30% chance to win he was at, I think, 10% chance to win in the first election in 2016, and he ended up hitting. So this was always a possibility. The last time I was here, it started a little awkward, and now it's starting awkward again with the comments about Lee Stefonic, which, I really don't appreciate, but
the hell are you talking about?
Whatever you just said about Lee Stefonic. Don't say
grow
stuff about
up.
that.
It's a joke.
It's okay. I don't appreciate it. But, I do want to point out to the listeners, this was my most fun interview of the campaign.
Well,
so
it should have been.
I like it.
You're not starting out very good here, though.
I think we're starting off great.
Let's take a deep breath.
But I do.
No. Let's take a breath, and let's start over. Hello, Anthony. Good morning. So good to have you on the radio.
Hey, Mr. Keeler. Thanks for giving me another fun interview.
I am so happy to have you here. You have no idea. All right. So how did you feel, though? You can't claim that this was not a disappointment.
I felt very good. Last time I was here, if people recall, whether they do recall or not, I don't know, because people's memories are what they are. But, we were disparaging my poll and saying you were a polling expert.
Okay, so this is a fight between me and you? Is that what
no,
I
just want to let the...
Because let me tell you something. I love a good freaking fight. And let me also tell you another thing. You get to talk when I turn your mic up. You can't win a fight in here, so do not try. Why would you want to fight with me? I haven't started out in any way negative. Listen to me. Man from the background that people can't hear, listen to me. Let's not do this. This is ridiculous.
Why? It's good radio.
Is that what you want? Because I'll go for it. I love good radio. I'm good. I'm in for a good fight.
Davey,
but
save me.
This audio will be available if you decide to run in the future, or if somebody wants to buy your sticker. And I got to tell you, I know people who won't buy your sticker because of this interview.
Well, that's fine. I know people that won't buy my stickers because I supported the president and endorsed him and put up a beautiful vote for Trump.
Well, you just lost some more. Why would you do that? Why do you want to fight with me?
And I care about the state and I care about the citizens.
Okay. So you fight with me? My question again is...
I just want to remind the listeners you were very rude and disparaging towards my poll, which ended up being proven right by the Tony Fabrizio poll, which showed me as the winner.
First of all, your poll wasn't correct, and it couldn't be correct because you were the only one campaighning. No one else had gotten into the race.
We had 3 internal polls that all showed me the winner, and we had a Tony Fabrizio poll that showed that
I don't know who Tony Napoli is.
Tony Fabrizio is the president's pollster.
But I can tell you this. This isn't the way we should do this. I want to have a.
No, it's right. You should let me talk.
Well, I'm going to if you're not going to be I don't want to use the word.
Well, you said certain things last
mind.
time, and I'm giving information. You called somebody a nasty name, and I think I was right to correct it. So,
well, I think you're completely.
Don't disrespect the congresswoman.
I didn't disrespect her. It was a freaking joke. You can't take a joke, Mister. I build a big sign. I build a big sign, and that's my claim to fame. That's my claim to fame.
Fame is I built an incredible company.
You have a sticker company. And your commercials, you were running commercials as if you were the candidate, and you weren't the candidate, and you weren't going to be the candidate. Trust me, you were not going to be the candidate. You were not going to be the candidate. But I'll ask you again a simple question: Were you at all disappointed by that announcement yesterday?
I don't know whether you're a Democrat or Republican.
It has nothing to do with it. You come into my territory and you start disparaging me. This is what the interview turns into. So you'll either continue this way or you'll get the freak out. It's very simple. I am telling you, it's your choice. It's your choice.
I'm giving you great radio.
You are, and I'm going to enjoy the clicks. You're not in this case. You may. Is it going to be decent for 5 minutes?
People are going to remember that you were really disrespectful.
Will it be decent for 5 minutes? Do you think we can be decent to each other for 5 minutes? Here's the question. Were you at all disappointed? It's the fourth time I've asked you this.
I was very happy that you invited me back.
Not about me, about the news yesterday, man.
About the fact that a poll showed up showing that I was winning that validated my poll, which you said was wrong. It validated my poll, and you did. I don't know what your party affiliation is, but you did a tremendous.
Has nothing to do with party affiliation. In fact, I was supporting a Republican in this, and Joe Rakowski, completely supporting him.
A friend over that had no chance at all, but
that's just not true. But if you want to say that, people, of course, they're going to put it in perspective based on the other things that you've said, things that are just not believable. But
I think they're highly believable because I hired the President's Trump pollster. You didn't even know Tony Fabrizio was the President's Trump pollster.
Listen.
You said, I don't even know who that is. That's the President's pollster.
So you're not going to answer whether or not you were disappointed.
No, I answered. I was happy.
Will you run? Will you, if, and there's a chance that Elise Stefonic will then move on to the administration, and I'm assuming you probably would run for that, right?
I want to be helpful, and I want to help the citizens as much as possible. I built a great company, and I'm not focused on anything other than helping people. So if she ends up moving on in 26, then that might be an option. People are asking me to do all sorts of things, and I just want to.
It might not even be 26. It might be later this year. It's possible.
We'll see what happens, and I want to be available to help people.
And beyond that, I would ask you, some people would criticize you and have in this area. This is not me, just for the record. But I might agree with them, to be honest, is that you, with all the commercials that you ran, television and radio, the appearances that you've made, the fact that you drove down here, and we appreciate having you on camera, and that really you were more promoting your own brand, your company, that it's been a win-win for you, whether you run for the Congress seat or not.
My company was doing great. My company was doing great before this. The path to growing your company is not to get involved in politics. The only reason you get involved in politics is to help.
Do you think it's hurt your company?
It's not a great move if you want to get involved in politics. For a business perspective. I got involved because I built an incredible company, and I have a company that's very resilient, and I wanted to help the citizens. And so I think that's why Elon's doing it, and that's why the president did it. They all knew President Trump didn't help his company by getting involved in politics. He was concerned about the country, and Elon's in a similar situation. So
has this hurt you financially?
I have a very resilient company. I'll tell you people this. If you're thinking about getting involved in politics and you already have a great business like I do with over 1,000 people, it's not the path to grow your business. In the long run, I think people are going to look at what I did and they're going to value it. But right now I'm making a short-term investment and helping the country. I said to myself prior to the election, I said, if I don't get involved in helping the president win the election, we're going to have a country that maybe we don't want to live in anymore. So I was willing to take the risk. I'm a risk taker in general. And my company's doing well. It's a resilient company. We have a lot of tools to continue succeeding despite a little bit of blowback. But I'm in this to help the people, and I think everybody knows that.
So you haven't lost money?
It's hard to say what exactly affects things. I can tell you this: we have a lawsuit coming against Reddit potentially. We got kicked out of Reddit, and that affected our Google rankings.
Freedom of speech, or lawsuit?
Reddit banned all positive conversation about Sticker Mule in certain subreddits, which affected our Google rankings.
What subreddits?
Our stickers, which is one of the top Reddits on top subreddits on Reddit, and we're talking to the Texas Attorney General about a lawsuit with regards to that, and they may be working with us on that. We'll see what happens.
So
but,
what is
this is not a path to grow your business. I'm not doing this.
Okay.
It's not a path to grow your business. I want to help the citizens. I know Joe Rakowski, all of his money comes from the government. 90% of his money comes from the government, which is why I got frustrated.
I don't know how you would know that. How you know exactly where his he does.
I took it from his own interview.
He certainly does government work, but you were running for a government position.
Sure. And he did an interview where he said 90% of his money comes from the government, and that's why he was donating to Democrats to earn favors. And so I called that correctly. I'm running for a government position where I get paid a fraction of what I pay my own executives, and I was going to give the money back to my congressional staff. So I built a great reputation for myself. People didn't know me, and now I have a
They know you. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, though.
Oh, I think it's good because I was number one.
I think you would think it would be good.
Well, the polls.
You got a poll out there that says you're the number one.
I have
sticker guy in America right now.
President Trump's pollster, who verified that I'm the preferred candidate in the eyes of the voters because of interviews like this one.
How much did you spend on the? How much did you spend on
this election?
This campaign?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to get the exact number. Probably about $1 million.
I don't know how this works because there's really no campaign at this point. Although you did register, do you have to show the?
There'll be FCC filings and people can see all that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to know? Because I can't wait to get this up so I can get the clicks. Anything?
Well, that's why I came here.
I appreciate it. Listen, I'm a fan of a good WWE event, just like the rest of us. In fact, Davey is a huge fan in there, and
let me just
I can see the clicks happening right now.
Let me say this really quickly. I became a pro boxer at age 40, even though I was running my company, because people say CEOs, sometimes they think they got there by luck and they want to do something else. But the incredible thing, in boxing, you punch each other in the face, and at the end of the day, you end up becoming friends. So I don't think anything personal. I think it's all just fun. And, I had a lot of fun doing this. I'm having a lot of fun being here today, and I hope you view it that way, too. So I hope you enjoy the clicks.
Do you think I won't invite you back because of this? I'd like you on tomorrow. If I were on tomorrow, I'd have you here tomorrow.
Or if you call me.
No, I'm not on, but I can't. Megan, guess. Go ahead and ask a God-blessed question.
I just have a quick question because of the circumstances where Elise Stefanic's nomination was withdrawn, and there was the ruminations from the Democratic Party that they were afraid that they were going to lose the House majority. So what is the path forward for Republicans in order to not have, let's see, historically, when the boat rocks from side to side, a blue wave in 2026 with the midterms?
That's a tough question. I think we need smart people in politics that are helping move things in the right direction. We have a great president right now. We're going to have to see what happens in 2026. I don't know what happened in Florida, I think. Florida kind of complicated this situation. But, I wasn't really paying attention to that because I was so focused. One of the problems with running for Congress in NY21 is I've been so focused at NY21, I haven't been as much time for thinking about national issues.
One of the storylines that came out of this yesterday from Fox News is that the reason that the president chose to put Stefonic back in her congressional seat or keep her in her congressional seat is because he felt that he was uncomfortable with the choices. And if you were the leader, if you say your poll is correct, is that do you find that offensive, or do you not believe what Fox News reported?
I mean, I saw the President Trump's tweet himself, and I had some inside information there, but there was a big complicating factor in that the Conservative Party endorsed Dan Steck, who I said was never an option. So I feel very good about the situation. I said from day one, Dan Steck was never a viable option. I ended up being right. President Trump saw there was going to be a split party, split ticket, and he was concerned about that. So I put myself in other people's shoes. I probably would have done the same thing the president did.
It was a Megan. Can you just make sure it's very interesting to see because they recommended, the Conservative Party made a recommendation, which I think threw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. The last thing you want is two conservatives, two Republicans running in the race. I do wonder, had it played out, if the Republicans and the conservatives would have come together and agreed on one candidate. They really would have to, I would think.
It was a difficult situation, so I shared the poll with President Trump because I hired President Trump's pollster. I shared it with the administration. The problem was the only two winnable candidates were myself and Senator Steck, but President Trump didn't want a Trump hater in Congress. So it was between myself and Senator Steck, and he would have had to convince the conservatives to change their minds. The other two candidates, the other people being considered, weren't winnable candidates. They were in statistical ties, or they were viewed as losing by President Trump's pollster. So he was put in a tough situation. He has major issues to be concerned about of national importance, and in the scheme of things, I probably would have made the same decision he made.
There was a poll that came out, I believe, through Politico that had Jenderbean running against any of the Republicans who were being named as potential candidates, winning by 17%. Don't you think maybe it would have been a pretty safe case to plow forward? Chances are the Republican, whoever it might be, I know you believe and know it would be you, but whoever it might be would probably have won by a large margin.
I had the most credible pollster. I hired the most credible pollster, and he said that the only winnable candidates were myself and Senator Steck. But Senator Steck has a track record of being anti-Trump, so he wasn't really an option.
Okay.
So,
well, the political poll would disagree with that.
But I spent I think $58,000 on my poll, and I hired the president's pollster because I know he trusts his own pollster. And so we actually
$58,000 there, and then in media,
I authorized my poll to go to the White House before I saw it myself because I wanted to be considerate towards the president.
All right. I hate to do this, and I'm not doing it for any other reason except we have news at the top of the hour. Touche. Appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm sure you will come back.
We'll be back and we'll have fun again. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Come back pissy again, would you? Because I enjoy
bringing
it.
both boxing gloves.
Yeah, I enjoy it. All right. I was going to go home and take a nap. I will not be able to do that now because I'm all fired up. That's it. Go into the weekend. Enjoy the weekend.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/today. Ethos.com/today.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Do it old school with Heritage Logging and Tree Removal. The area's go-to land clearing company. They specialize in tree removal, land clearing, stump grinding, and more. For your free estimate, call 315-796-2941 or visit Heritage.
From the Stanley Theater Studio.
All right, I want to tell you, WIBX Utica Rome, the Pioneers tickets for tonight, be the third caller right now.
Searching for survivors. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. In the rubble of a powerful earthquake, a magnitude 7.7 that struck Burma and Bangkok, Thailand.
I was in my lazy boy, and all of a sudden it moved back and forth, and then it toppled over.
She's lucky she wasn't hurt. At least 3 others were killed when a building under construction collapsed in Bangkok, leaving dozens of others trapped, missing under the debris. There are also images of destruction in Burma and varying reports of deaths there. Nothing confirmed by the military-run government, and there's also quake damage in China. Vice President Vance and his wife Usha on their way to Greenland, along with the National Security Advisor and Energy Secretary, visiting the Denmark territory President Trump wants the U.S. to take over.
The headline of this visit is going to be a stop at the Bidufik Air Space Base. It's about halfway between the U.S. and northern Russia, so it's about as important a location for missile warning and missile defense as anywhere on the planet. But there are also some space missions that remain mostly classified that launch from there.
That's Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. Greenland is resisting that U.S. push for control. Israel's gone on the attack in Lebanon months after a ceasefire with Hezbollah, which Israel blames for rockets launched into northern part of that country. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is in the Philippines, a strategic military partner in the Pacific, countering China.
We are doubling down on that partnership, and our ironclad alliance has never been stronger.
Well, Hegseth remains caught up in the Signal group chat controversy. Democrats want fully investigated after a journalist was mistakenly invited into that chat discussing U.S. military action against Houthi militants in Yemen. A federal judge has ordered the chat messages be preserved. We just got an update on inflation showing a 0.4% increase last month in the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index. The annual inflation rate remained at 2.5%. There was a slight increase in the more closely watched core rate, though. America's listening to Fox News.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Only two things in life are certain, death and taxes. How about one more? Switch from Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile to cut your bill in half with Pure Talk. For just $25 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, 5 gigs of data on America's most dependable 5G network. Making the switch, it's simple, fast, and easy. You dial pound 250, you say the keyword Pure Talk, and make the switch. You do it now, you save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, wireless, by Americans, for Americans.
WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone. For the second time in a week, a juvenile has been arrested for making a threat toward a school. New Hartford police said this latest event happened Wednesday when Perry Junior High School received a threatening message about its upcoming 9th grade dinner dance. Police were immediately notified, and a 17-year-old student was arrested yesterday by the New Hartford Police Criminal Investigation Division. Due to the student's age, their identity has not been released. They have been charged with making a terroristic threat, which is a Class D felony, and they were taken to Oneida County Family Court and held due to several factors. The school was granted an order of protection. A local woman was arrested for stealing a victim's wallet at the New Hartford Dollar Tree. According to New Hartford police, officers were called to the store on February 23rd, where a victim said her purse vanished from the employee break room. Following an investigation, authorities arrested 29-year-old Demetisia Pritchard and say she went into the restricted area and stole the victim's wallet. Pritchard then allegedly used the victim's money to buy items at the store. Pritchard was charged with third-degree burglary and fourth-degree grand larceny, which are both felonies, and petty larceny. She was remanded to Oneida County Jail after arraignment. The CDC is withdrawing over $11 billion allocated to health departments across the U.S. to help fight COVID-19. A spokesperson for the Department of Health and Human Services says they will no longer waste billions of taxpayer dollars responding to a non-existent pandemic that Americans moved on from years ago. HHS oversees over a dozen agencies, including the CDC. The CDC website says hundreds of people still die every week from COVID, adding that long COVID symptoms are continuing to cause medical problems in some cases. And a partial solar eclipse will be visible in parts of the U.S. this weekend. NASA says the eclipse will be visible early Saturday